Guys, Jared's not here today.
Mm-hmm.
Very conspicuous that every single time one of my super hit games releases that he's not on the next episode. I'm just saying, you know.
Which game released for you?
Densha Attack.
Oh, you know what? I think Jared's just playing Densha Attack right now.
You know, good on him.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It is a great game. Culinary Ass Wars takes a lot of pride in that one. Good game.
Mm-hmm,
Enjoy it, Jaren. I hope you're having the time of your life. But guys, Jaren's not here. We do have the Professor, Julian Cruz, here.
Hello.
I don't know if we've called him the Professor for a long time, but Julian, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing good. Not really a professor anymore, but...
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You are a professor forever to the students that have already graduated.
Oh, I guess so.
Look at me, being philosophical. On an actual Saturday morning... For the mistake zone, even though it's not longer called a Saturday morning arcade.
Saturday morning arcade, actual Saturday morning arcade. Saturday morning arcade recordings on Saturday mornings is actually pretty rare.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was that on purpose? Was that like an ironic joke? Or was that just like poor planning?
I think it's just poor planning.
Okay.
Also, I don't know, like I've got things to do on Saturday mornings usually, but this kind of falls in like the middle of summer where like there's no sports happening, the weather's kind of whatever, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When was the transition from SMA to Mistake Zone? Because I don't think I was there.
Yeah.
No, it was sometime in, I think, it was in 2019 actually. That was when me and Jaren started talking about anime. And we thought that Saturday morning arcade doesn't really make sense for an anime podcast.
For an anime. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
What you guys knew what the priorities were.
Mm-hmm. And Jared was able to snag that URL, and we were like, "Oh, we should turn that into the podcast now."
Good. That's pretty good. Yeah.
In fairness, though, we never talked about arcades either when we were in the heyday of SMA.
We talked about video games, which I think was enough.
Is
I
it
feel
though?
like-
Like, is that like a good enough connection? Because like arcades are a very specific thing. If we want to split hairs here.
Jaren from like 15 years ago is feeling very dejected. This breakdown that's happening here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we never record on Saturday morning either. So the entire name is kind of a misnomer if you're thinking about it.
Also, it's like we didn't really talk about Saturday morning cartoons that much.
I think the closest we ever got to like talking about cartoons was that like apathetic Disney beach volleyball thing that we did.
Oh.
No,
That was
Disney fighting
apathetic
game.
DOA beach volleyball.
Yeah, it was a Disney fighting game or something.
No, it was Dead or Alive. Oh yeah, Disney fighting game.
Yeah. We had a Disney fighting game. I think that's the only time we really ever talked about cartoons.
Oh man, have you guys watched X-Men '97?
I watched a bit of the first season and like parts of the second one.
Is it good?
So it's extremely fan servicey, and I'm on season 2 right now. So like, it's extremely fan servicey in a way where I don't think the writers have found the characters' voices.
Mm-hmm.
They've only simply found their voice from 20 years ago. And so like a lot of this dialogue that's written feels very much like a self-insert. And that sounds pretty harsh. But I also kind of feel
like the writers self-inserting themselves, or
yes, that's my opinion on this. Others might be enjoying it a lot more than I am. I am a little bit snarkier when I'm consuming these things for what it's worth. But yeah, I just kind of, I don't know. I feel like the writing has been a little bit too referential in a way that kind of takes you out of the story a little bit. Because like even in the second season, like there is a part where they're like, "We're going to take the X-Men back to 1997." And I'm like, you don't need to do all that shit. Like, it's a little too much for me. But it's okay. Like it hits all the notes for nostalgia factors. So
yeah. I like watching Cyclops shoot beams
from the punch dimension, which is not canonical.
Honestly, yeah. With like X-Men '97, it's very much like it's not Cyclops shooting beams. It's like Cyclops and Jean Grey going to like marriage counseling because that's what that show used to be about.
Okay,
yeah, it's okay.
Was Morph always in this show? Because I don't remember Morph in the original. Like
I could have sworn he died like immediately in the original series. Like I think in the first episode. I mean, I could be misremembering. I watched this when I was a child.
It's been a very long time since I watched it as well, but hey, we do have search bars, so let me look up
No,
more
Rakush, I think we need to only rely on our old
on our
mid-30s
nostalgic
memory.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I think
Well,
it is a
I
larger
mean-
conversation though that you kind of brought up because it is something that a lot of people are bringing up. This idea of like now that the people who consume this media are older and end up being in the writer's seat for a lot of these shows, it becomes this
Mhm.
question of when it comes to writing, a lot of the times it's like the fans writing it. And some people would see
Mhm.
that as a net positive, but the problem then a lot of people argue is that when fans are writing a show, then there's kind of a hesitancy to not break away from like what is kind of like the mold of what is there. Like if you think about Star Wars now, like a lot of Star Wars like media written by George Lucas was like kind of like building on top of things, introducing new things. But now if we look at like Star Wars now, it's like a lot of it is just kind of like, no, I don't want to say retreads, but like things
Mhm.
that are built up from like something that is from an older movie.
Yeah.
Like The Mandalorian, for example, like that whole thing is just built upon like the mythology of like Boba Fett, so there's like this fear of like creating something like new. But then there's the offside of like, if you do create something new, like fans get upset about it. So I don't know. I don't know what the path is.
I think the path is not looking at people's opinions online as much.
Yeah, pretty much.
I say that as someone
Aw.
that is on a podcast that is going out to people online. I get
And yeah,
it. I
putting their
understand
opinions
that
out
shit.
there. Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm putting yeah, exactly. Yes. I think what is important is to try to work through whatever biases we got, not in the Oshi sense, but like in the, just you're a fan of this content, you have to work on this content. How do you find what is objectively the character's motivation? How do you find how a character will react not objectively, but like authentically to a certain situation, authentically to that character sort of thing, right?
Mhm.
Now, not every character so far in X-Men 97 has been a self-insert, but like you mentioned Morph, and in like the latest episode, it just kind of feels like there's a scene where Morph goes just a little bit too like breaking the fourth wall ish, where it's like if you hear what the dialogue is, it's like, oh, the fans have been saying this for 20 years, so let's put a character in that is the fans, and it's like it's not necessary.
Oh, okay.
Just tell the story, So I don't know what the clear answer is for like, just how do you make something original anymore, because I know the ideas exist. Like, look, this summer for movies has been pretty awesome. One of the cooler movies, even though to me it kind of fell a little bit flat on the ending, like the final third, was Backrooms. I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch it yet.
Oh yeah.
No.
Pretty cool movie. Pretty cool concept more than a movie, to be honest with you.
That's like Backrooms as a whole, I think. Like the concept is oftentimes better than the actual story around it.
Uh-huh.
Okay. We're kind of treating this as a bit of a Crashout episode, so indulge me in this like Crashout / vent a little bit as well, right? Because I've been annoyed by modern horror films. I am a bit of a scaredy child. I'm not going to go and watch the jump scare horror movies for what it's worth, right? But I do tend to follow the plots and stuff like that because I'm interested in them, but I'm too scared to watch them. So whenever I like look it up and whenever I like kind of read about these things, or in the case of Backrooms, when I do actually go and watch one of these movies, I feel like they have zero clue how to actually finish telling the story. And I wonder if that is simply because they don't know how to finish the story, or if that is like a production committee led thing for like, we need to set this up for future movies, and this cannot be like, a one-off. It has to be a never-ending franchise, because like we can't just let something sit and die. And like it really does bother me what has happened with like, just like the modern horror movies. But that also, I guess like that's been happening since the 80s with fucking Nightmare on Elm Street and all that shit as well. So
yeah, you want to talk about like sequels on sequels, like classic slasher horrors were sequels on sequels. Jason went to New York.
He went to space.
And space. Yeah, I was gonna say
Wait, what? How did he go to space?
Jason X or something. He had like a laser machete. I think. I don't know.
Oh,
How he went to space, I don't know, because I cannot, in good conscience, tell you that I watched that movie. Once I heard Jason did space, I was like, no.
I think they like cloned him or something. Like he was like the perfect killer or something.
Was that what it was? Fuck.
I don't know. I haven't seen that movie. I'm making assumptions here.
Which I know the fans must have gone crazy with, because like canonically, him and Freddy Krueger are in the same universe.
Yeah.
So
And
then,
they fought
like,
each other,
if he's the perfect killer, then Freddy Krueger is second place.
I think Jason versus Freddy was the first movie I watched for either of those franchises.
Amazing.
Oh man.
They should do more versus. They did that Sadako versus the Grudge. I don't know what the Grudge lady's name is. So like it was like the Ring versus the Grudge.
Was that any good?
I'm not sure because I think it's like not to say they're basically the same because there's technical nuances between them.
Mm-hmm.
But they're both like long-haired Japanese women that like crawl on the ground. So then it's like, what is the fight here? Like, one of them requires like a video for them to come out. Like the other is only like technically stuck in a house because like the Grudge, their whole thing is like they can only inhabit like the area where they have the Grudge. So it's like, how are you gonna make them fight? Like play the video in the Grudge house? I don't know. I didn't watch that movie.
Right, I was gonna ask. Yeah,
yeah. All you can really do now is just throw them into Dead by Daylight or something, or Fortnite. Throw them into Fortnite. That's the only place they can fight.
Yeah,
throw them into Fortnite. Fuck. I actually kind of want to watch that movie now because that sounds dumb enough that like even my scaredy ass can watch that shit.
I heard it wasn't like great, but because I think they did this like, as well with Jason versus Freddy. I don't know. I'm not sure if you want to dig into your mind palace and fact check this, Matt, but. I think, like, did they only meet near the end? Or were they, like, interacting throughout the whole thing?
Dude, I don't remember at all.
Okay.
Oh, man.
Clearly that movie didn't,
I mean, I remember them fighting, but if you, like, asked me to like, recount the plot of that movie to you, I couldn't tell you a thing. Other than Freddy and Jason were both probably in it at the same time.
Oh, okay.
Apparently, though, that movie is before the main events of Jason X, which is a space one.
I mean, I'd assume so. Jason X is supposed to be like a future.
Yeah, like 2400 or some shit.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But guys, there's a couple of things we wanted to get through here. We've been teasing the Final Fantasy VII talk for a bit, but did want to put a pin in that for just like a few more minutes as well, right? Because something I just kind of wanted to talk about on this episode is... The OnePlus phone has this week basically announced that they're kind of exiting the US and North American and UK European market as well. In essence, kind of signaling the end of the OnePlus as a signature phone. Now, it's just a phone, right? And I think like it might not mean much for folks in 2026, but I still kind of like, old men yelling at the cloud kind of thing. But I do remember when the OnePlus originally was announced like a decade plus ago, and it was this challenger phone, this challenger brand.
Yeah.
Phones are getting too expensive. Smartphones are not accessible enough. You don't have enough choice in how you want to build your phone. Here comes the OnePlus, right? And it was an affordable option too. I think that was the big thing about it back in the day. And I don't know if you guys bought a OnePlus or not, but like I think like the only thing that kind of held me back from ever jumping into the OnePlus was like the shipping situation. Even back in the day was kind of like something that even if it might have been sound on paper wasn't something I necessarily trusted with my limited budget and stuff like that. And I do wish I had gotten into it, but something that like also happens with the OnePlus over the last decade is it goes from this challenger brand into being like this. It almost becomes an enthusiast brand, to be honest. Like, things get so expensive in a way where like the price is just normalized with like what was eventually available here and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I do feel like there is a certain sadness on my end with it, like kind of escaping or like, exiting these two markets, because it does to me signal another sort of like moment where we begin to realize, like, all of these technologies that we use are, it's down to like a few companies, and it's only the few companies, and like I really don't see much room for like these crazy big challenger brands to open up and stuff like that. And I don't know if I'm going down the wrong train of thought with that, right? So like, Matt, I feel like you're a little bit more educated on like modern tech, and like I don't know if that expands to phone tech, but like what was your feeling with this news? Like, did you have any reaction to this?
I mean, I was a little bit sad to hear that because I did have the original OnePlus One when it came out.
Me
And I
too.
was like, dude, oh man, the back of that phone felt so weird,
Amazing.
and I loved it. And I loved rubbing it on my face.
Did
Yeah.
you? And then I bought the bamboo case for
Oh,
it. It
dude.
felt so
Oh
good.
man,
I wanted to buy that so bad back in the day.
Yeah, it was like,
Oh.
oh, look at my phone. It was like made out of wood.
Oh
Super cool.
man, no, I didn't end up buying. I ended up just buying a normal case that I could remove easily because, like I said, I liked feeling the back of it, and I felt like
It
I
is a
couldn't
nice
do that with
feeling.
But yeah, I mean, I did feel bad like that it is no longer gonna like be around, because even though like I never went back to One Plus after that, I did every time I went to go get a new phone, I did go and check. Oh, what is One Plus doing?
Mhm.
And okay, they are still going to be making phones, right? It's just they're not going to be available here. Like you could, in theory, still import them. Is that how it's working now?
Yeah, I mean, this actual like news that's out there is just that they're exiting these markets, right? And
Okay.
I wonder how that impacts sort of like if it's manufactured for Asian countries only, how does it work on North American coverage or networks, right? So I think like those are the kind of things where I'm not quite certain about.
I see.
Yeah, so like Matt, I guess like you mentioned like you had the OnePlus. Julian, you also mentioned you had the OnePlus One. You guys obviously were interested enough to buy it in the first place, but then like you moved on from it. Like, what was it? Like, what was it that caused you to kind of switch brands with the phone? Like, was it just no longer a good option? Too expensive? Like, what was it?
I don't know. I think it was like a price creep eventually, right?
Mhm.
Because like it came out, the OnePlus One came out 2014, I think. And I'm like one of those weird people who didn't really have a smartphone until like much later. Like I think I literally got my first smartphone like when I moved to China for the first time. So it
Right.
was like 2013. I'm not sure when you guys got your first smartphones, but
I'm
I
also
had
having a little bit of a moment where I'm realizing you moved to China 13 years ago.
Yeah, it's a while back.
That's
I
crazy.
think so, right? 2013, I think. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the year that's sticking in my head. But yeah, I had a hand-me-down Samsung, and then I was looking for a new phone, and the OnePlus One, like it was like a crazy price if I recall for what it was. It was like I think at the time it was I could be wrong, but like 300 Canadian or 400 Canadian.
I think
Something.
it was close to 400 Canadian.
Yeah, it was like under 500 regardless. So I was like, wow, that's like a deal. And I think like I stuck with it for a while because I my phones I have a pretty good like run with a lot of my phones. Like it lasts for
Mhm.
like 8 to 10 years for the smartphones that I usually have.
Damn, 8 to 10 years is actually a really long stretch.
That's 30. Yeah.
Yeah, like I have I'm on like my fourth ever like smartphone. Like I like run these guys to the ground. But anyways, like by the time I was looking for a new phone, by the time I was like, oh, like this OnePlus One doesn't make sense anymore. Like it's so slow. It like the battery life is literally like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
The price creep. Like if I had bought it like year by year or whatever, maybe it would have been better. But I think by the time that I was looking for a new phone, the price creep was to the point where I looked at a Samsung, and because I like to stick with Android, and
Yeah.
it was like comparable in terms of price. And I kind of at that point I kind of then had to weigh the idea of like what is easily more accessible in terms of like accessories, in terms of services, in terms of, and like unfortunately like Samsung is, since it's one of the flagships,
Yeah.
it is going to be better than the OnePlus. So then I ended up just kind of like switching over naturally because like if the price was comparable, then I'm just gonna pick the one that has
The better
that kind of
coverage.
yeah that serves my purpose
Yeah.
a lot better. So then I ended up choosing that, and I kind of have stuck with I went from like OnePlus One to Samsung Galaxy 8 to like now Galaxy 23. So those are like the phones I've had in my life.
Damn. And yeah, I mean, like, you guys have talked about the price, right? Like, I just looked it up here. Original launch price for OnePlus One was $300 US, which even back in the day, extremely cheap.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And the conversion rate with Canadian was enough that it was only like $400 Canadian or $450 Canadian, which $450 might be a little bit high, but yeah.
Yeah, like for me, my phone choices were always based on like some gimmick that the phone had. Like, the OnePlus One was just like, oh, yo, this is just a very... The gimmick what really was, oh, this is such a good price for the phone.
It's a good gimmick.
And the bamboo case, yeah.
And then, like, I think the next one I went to was like the Xiaomi Mi Mix 3, which had the sliding magnetic back camera, or like front-facing camera, where you could like push down the screen and then the the front-facing camera would be behind it. And this was a time when I was like very concerned about, oh no, what if this thing is recording me all the time? So I really, really liked that gimmick. And then, I don't know, even when after that, I like moved on to like the Pixel 8 is what I have now.
Yeah. I think we bought that around the same time. We bought it
around the same time, yeah. Because I remember talking to you about like, what phone I should get, and we were both looking at it. But
yeah,
honestly, I went to the Pixel 8 because I was interested in like, honestly, the AI gimmicks to see what they were doing with it.
Yeah, honestly, I just went with that one because price seemed like the most affordable. And I think, like, to kind of tie the price conversation back to modern day, right? Like, where OnePlus now is in 2025, one of their OnePlus 15 launched at $900 US.
Yeah.
And so, like, sure, some of that is inflation. And look, like, we all know inflation in the last decade has happened at a very problematically historic rate, right? Even in the last half decade, if you want to say that. But ultimately, sort of like the lament here is more that like we no longer have these budget choices that are like challenger brands, right? Like you can always get a budget phone. I'm sure I can find a budget phone, like, from just an international market or something like that. But like the reliability of it and the build of it, and like it's no longer like you're getting more than what you paid for. In fact, it might be you're getting less than what you paid for. But like, yeah, just kind of like, I don't know. Like, I think the reason I feel very sad about something like this getting announced is just that, like, again, like, the consumers are like down to lesser and lesser choices on like which devices they own and like what they can do with those devices and stuff like that as well, right? And we've been talking about that so much with like even gaming consoles and like even buying games, period, right? Like going from physical to digital and stuff like that as well. And I don't know, guys, just kind of felt like I needed to bring the mood down here before we truly bring the mood down with Final Fantasy VII. But no, RIP to the OnePlus in the US and Canada at least, or in like, Western countries at least. I'm pretty sure it's still going like well in like India, so maybe like they're just gonna focus on like those markets.
Yeah.
And hey, man, that's like between India and China, that's like majority or like 40 to 50% of the world's population right there. So like we'll be fine.
I assume too that like a lot of these are gonna be open phones. So I don't know. I don't know of the feasibility of like ordering them, but maybe that might be too much trouble than it's worth.
Yeah, I think the issue now is like it's beyond just so like back in the day you could at least make the argument that like, hey, the shipping might be expensive. This might end up costing you like $500 or $600 because of shipping and duty and stuff like that. And the crazy thing is, even at that price, you could still make the argument that it is still slightly cheaper than some of the flagship phones from other brands. But now, if you're paying $900 plus shipping, plus potentially duty and stuff like that with the state of the world as it currently is, I think you might, like, I don't know if you're getting the same, like, benefits, like you said, right, Julian, with, like, the warranty and the, like, coverage and stuff like that, as you would with the North American phone. So, yeah, it's another sad development in modern technology, I guess.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Random tangent off of this while we're talking about phones. Because I was talking to somebody about this the other day. And I was wondering, let's say that you have like your phone and you want to put an app on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
What word do you use to like say you are going to like put the app on the phone? If that makes
Like
sense.
install it?
Yeah, download
okay.
the app.
Okay, so Julian, you're on the download side, Rakush, you're on the install side?
Oh.
I guess
Oh,
it's
is that the
kinda
discrepancy? Okay.
Uh-huh. That's what I was wondering.
interesting. I guess it kind of depends.
Okay. Okay.
I'm like downloading Instagram or I'm downloading TikTok or whatever.
Okay.
I'm installing a game, maybe.
Okay.
What? What's the reasoning there?
There's no reasoning, just my brain.
Okay. Because like I was talking to someone about this, just like on just talking to somebody about this, and I feel like this is like an older versus younger type thing. Whether like because I find that like people who used this or who say install tend to be people who use like computers growing up a lot, and download are a lot more younger
Damn.
people.
Call me grandpa over here.
But well, I mean, I
I'm
say
the
install
youth.
too, so like,
Get out of the way, old man.
oh man,
I'm the
Okay.
future.
I'm downloading games. Unlike you, old man.
Uh-huh.
Go
Oh, man.
install your floppy disk.
I don't know. Like they seem interchangeable to me, though.
Yeah, no,
Like,
I think they
download
are
and
interchangeable.
install.
I think they are
Yeah.
very interchangeable. But like, I found that like I would say I'm installing an app, which is I think install is just like an old man word. Now that I'm thinking about it,
Yeah, I guess so, right? Because like, yeah, the whole
Install
digital
the
thing is you're
floppy.
downloading it, and installing is part of downloading it.
Yeah.
I guess
yeah.
kind of.
Wait, is there
Huh.
a difference?
Not-
I don't know.
Difference?
Like when you install an app, you can already have the like package on your phone, I guess. But when you're downloading the app, technically you are like grabbing it from a server, and then usually
Okay,
there is
yeah, I
like
was
a
gonna
backend
say.
process that will do the install itself.
Okay, so downloading is like when you're grabbing something from the internet to put onto your computer, and then installing is like when you are having that thing like actually install itself on the device.
Mhm,
Is that
mhm.
kind of like the difference?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see. I see. Oh, and that makes sense because when you say download, because a lot of newer tech
Mhm.
does it
Mhm.
automatically,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? So if you're downloading like something on a smart device, it automatically installs. So you're
Installs
skipping
it,
that
yeah.
install part. So
Yeah.
you're not really interacting with the word.
Mhm.
I feel like this episode itself,
Uh-huh.
like this segment itself, is an old man conversation.
Yeah.
An old
Yeah.
person conversation.
Yeah.
What episode number is this, man? 65?
65.
That is the retirement age. So, like, that's...
That's a good goof. That's a good
Yeah,
goof.
that's not
Yeah.
that's not the retirement age anymore.
Not in the
Not
chat,
for
yeah,
us.
not in the slightest. I think that's when your RRSP can be withdrawn without it being taxed, which is why it's like considered the retirement age.
Fair.
But you're right.
Mm.
I'm probably gonna either die before retiring or
Oh, wait, sorry,
retire
no.
at like 75.
This is 66. This is 66.
66. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
The devil's lettuce.
Mhm. Mhm.
No, that's 420. Wow.
Wow.
6, 7.
Another old man conversation is saying legalize it.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh,
yeah.
If you really
know
think
what?
about it.
That's also a country thing. So that joke still stands in other places.
To be fair, if you go to Japan and try to make a 420 joke, even in like, just with folks that are a little bit more in that culture, I don't think it'll fly well.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. I wouldn't make that joke in India either. I don't know who's listening. Oh, man. But guys, let's get into the main gripes of this episode. So, Julian, a couple of weeks ago, you were on one of the episodes and you were talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth. I think it was after the Summer Games Fest when I think
Yeah.
its reunion got announced. And as I was listening to that episode, I was actually kind of like, oh, hey, cool, somebody else has played this game. I actually really want to talk about this game with somebody, right? And in the back of my mind also was the reality that I am looking for a reason to play Rebirth.
Mhm.
Because every time I tried to play that game and I got out into the open world, I felt demoralized in a way where I'm like, I don't want to do this right now. And yeah, so like that kind of was like the starting point of this, right? And then like Julian, you and I have been kind of talking about this on Discord for a bit.
Yes.
We tried our best to like make as much progress in this game as we humanly could. Matt, I know you joined in by at least buying Remake. I'll ask you in a second where you got with that game, but like all of these conversations that like we've had in varying like, you know, situations and degrees has essentially led me to believe that all three of us have at least some gripes with this game, and that might be putting it kindly.
Yeah.
And so I kind of want to, yeah. So I think, Matt, I want to get your opinion on Remake first, because
let's start with Remake.
I do want to start with that one a little bit. But how far have you gotten, and what has your experience been like so far with that game?
I got to the part where Ares gets kidnapped.
Aerith.
Yeah, sorry, Aerith gets. I'm gonna say Ares whenever I talk about
That's
it.
the God of War.
Are you guys are you Ares camp or Aerith camp?
I mean, obviously, I'm in the Ares camp.
Is that like an actual pronunciation of this name?
It's so the original Final Fantasy VII translation. So like the PlayStation 1 translation made her name Aeris instead of Aerith.
Oh.
So if you grew up with that translation, like you would lean into Aeris, but they corrected because the actual name is Aerith in the Japanese version. So that's what they went with for the remakes, and now more people are going with Aerith because either this is their first exposure to Final Fantasy, or because they want to stick with the original.
So I didn't know this, Lord. Thank you for sharing that. I just thought Matt was going with a goof where like he couldn't be bothered to remember the character's name.
No.
Nope, a legitimate thing.
This is legitimately just
Turns
like
out,
like a what do you call it? Japanese pronunciation to English thing.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
It is, I guess, like if you read it in katakana, closer to like Aerith.
Erisu.
Yeah. So like,
Yeah, okay.
it's very understandable why in the initial what do you call it, localization they went with Ares, and I kind of just got like used to that pronunciation for it.
I like that
Let's go with
pronunciation
Ares.
more too because
Yeah.
it sounds more like a name. And I know,
Yeah.
like, I could be wrong, but I heard the reason Aerith, or it's supposed to be Aerith, is because it's supposed to sound closer to Earth because of her role.
Oh.
Yeah.
Her
okay.
role as kind of like the life spring, etc., etc.
Mhm.
So like there is a reason for her to be Aerith. But at the same time, like in terms of like as a name, I feel like Aerith sounds more like a name.
Yeah. I think just like English, I guess like sounds wise, Aerith just flows a bit better. I feel like whenever I say Aerith, it's like I put a period at the end of the word, and I feel like I have to stop for a bit. But
yeah, because it leaves your mouth in like a weird place, like like your tongue ends up like between your teeth.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. But
damn, now that you mentioned that, I'm too aware of where the tongue ends.
Linguistically,
I don't like it.
I can't believe that you've been on a
like
podcast for like 13 years now, and you're only now like being concerned about word pronunciation.
It's not the word pronunciation. It's more the placement of where my tongue is. Because now I'm like too
placement.
conscious that like my tongue is between my teeth.
Okay.
So I'm too scared of biting down on it.
Oh yeah, I mean definitely don't bite down if you're pronunciating it.
Yeah, no. Now I'm too scared of saying the word. It's like Voldemort.
Oh man.
It's an actual Voldemort situation. Dang.
Uh-huh.
But Matt,
Uh-huh.
Remake.
Yes.
Aeris.
Yeah, so I got to the point where she gets kidnapped, and when I got to like, they're like, oh, okay. They give you the warning of, oh, when you go to like get her back, you are not going to be able to return to this town. So you better like do everything you need to do. And I was just like, oh my god, I don't want to deal with like the way this game is doing its side quests. But I like half really enjoyed that game, and then half was like whole time thinking, oh, I didn't know the people who made Mixtape made half of this game. Like,
what?
Like,
in what way?
Because it's not a game?
Yeah, like half of that game is just walking really slowly, or oh dude, this game has like, one of the things that I really hate in just video games in general is when it purposely like slows your movement down. Because this game is horny
the walk and
for
talk, yeah.
not even just like walking down. They're like horny for making you squeeze through spaces, dude.
Yeah.
Like, squeeze through spaces or slowly walk across like a precarious beam, or I don't know. Like a lot of like I understand that it's still like hide loading screens and stuff like that, but man, did it really like piss me off when I was playing this game.
And do you have any plans on finishing this game after this episode is recorded?
I honestly don't have any plans to finish this game.
Okay.
Because like I just don't want to go through how slow it is for me. But like I do think that the combat in this game was like very, very good. I really, really like the part of this game where you get to play a game and not watch a movie.
Yeah. So you're stumbling onto, or like you're coming to the exact same realization that Julian, if I'm speaking for you on this in this moment, I think you and I both had that realization, is that there is a really good game buried beneath all of the bullshit.
Like when the game lets you actually play the game.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
It really fucking is. And it's like the action and like the way that they blend like, you know, the traditional RPG action elements, right? Like it's done really solidly and it's done really well. And like the flow, even with like those like mini like 5-second, 10-second cutscenes in the middle, that like it goes from like the combat to the cutscene back to the combat. It's so seamless.
Yeah.
And like it does such cool shit with the action. And then you have to do for like 20 hours before that what Matt is talking about right now, which is like fucking fit through some weird corridors and cracks and shit like that, or like you know, walk precariously on like these beams and like meet these like generic looking NPCs and stuff. It's a drag.
Yeah, like I understand that like also a lot of this is coming from the fact that, you know, I have said a lot on the show, whether it's video games or anime or whatever, is that like I don't like really particularly like slow moving overarching plot lines. And I understand that they took like what is it, like if you go to the original Final Fantasy VII, the story that gets covered in Remake is like 10 hours or so.
Yeah, it's like the early part of the game. Really.
Yeah, and then this stretches it out to about 40 hours. And of course they are, you know, adding stuff to it, but like but there is like a lot of I guess like character building stuff that they add. Not so much plot movement stuff. And I did feel like the plot was moving particularly slowly, which is like, Rakush, why I wanted to ask you in particular. Because you've played the modern Final Fantasy games, like 15 or 16 or something like that.
I played 16.
Yeah, like, does that have like kind of like the same story pacing issues? Or is it like better because, you know, it is a full game that they're fitting into one full game instead of stretching out the start of a JRPG?
I think it is one game in one game sort of thing, if that makes sense. So like you can play that one for like a solid 50 hours, maybe even less, to be honest, and you'll get the full story out of that. Now, I was talking to Julian about this a little bit when we were just kind of like venting about Rebirth a little bit as well. But like 16, I started playing because I was like, oh, cool kaiju fights. Easy sell. And it's fantastic. It is like one of my favorite games in the last decade, because it really is just unabashedly being what it is. Is the world pretty? No. Are the side characters cool? Like, whatever. Like, if you look at it objectively, I think someone would say it's a good game, not a great game. But for me, it was so focused on, like, the things it does really well that really resonated with me with 16, where I'm just like, they know what they want to do. They're confident in what they want to do. I dig it. Let's go with this. And like, it was fantastic.
Yeah,
like even some of the DLC. Oh, it's so good.
It's so good. Like,
did you play it too, Julian?
Yeah, I played 16.
Oh, okay.
As well. Yeah.
I think like you played it when it went on sale, because I kept like messaging you. I don't know if I'm the reason you played it, but like I did keep messaging you. I'm like, this game is a basic, dude. This game is a basic.
I played it when it came on PC because it had that lag of like 1 year from PS5 to PC. Yeah.
And they opened that game up with a bang too, right? Because like it's that Phoenix versus Ifrit. Thank you. Phoenix versus Ifrit fight, and it is just phenomenal. And that's what the demo was, by the way. So like you play that, then like you get into sort of like the character stuff as well. And like I think the character stuff is a little bit like misleading in a way as well, where you're kind of like, oh, this main character is just going to be like this really edgy dude or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he just turns out to be pretty sincere as well, Clive, right? So like, I think there's a lot of cool things with that game. And I even really just kind of enjoyed how they handle the hub worlds, and like character deaths were like, handled with the right amount of emotion or the care, and like, things like that as well, right? So like, I really enjoyed 16 because it was a very contained experience. Now, all that to say, like, I played 7 after I played 16, like the remake after I played 16.
Mm-hmm.
And so I definitely was doing the comparisons there. And I realized like maybe 10, 15 hours into remake, like, I can't compare the two. Because like, I do think remake is like very much trying to tell like a more quote-unquote epic story that's like spanning across multiple games, and so I just kind of had to take it for what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think what it was is not clear to me with 7, and I think it struggles with holding on to its background as like this historically iconic RPG that is being remade, and so they take all these great action elements and they have to like bury it like within all of these RPG tropes that just to me fall extremely flat in Rebirth and Remake as well. And I'm like, you mentioned like, Matt, like you're not a fan of how they're expecting you to do like the side character stuff in this game. Like, speak on that a little bit more, because I do want to hear about that. And then Julian, I am gonna throw it to you after that as well.
Mm-hmm. I mean, okay, it's not so much about the side character stuff, it's more so about the side questing, because like, I don't know, I kind of just find their side questing a little bit boring. It is kind of the generic kind of, hey, go talk to this NPC and then go to this part of the map, which, okay, I really don't like that they don't show you the mini-map while you're in town, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, go like to this NPC, go to like this area, fight like a couple mobs and then report back. Like, I mean, just that kind of side quest thing, or hey, go look for like this like NPC that we don't label. It's just like, hey, you have to search within the whole town to look for it. Like that one where like you have to like find the kids basically. Was I found like kind of annoying, and I don't know, there's just like some stuff about like that style of like quest that I just find kind of boring. And the fact that like they say, hey, you're not gonna be able to come back to do this, to me gives me the, oh, I have to go do this like now type thing, instead of in more, I guess, like traditional JRPGs where that is in the back burner, and you in like I feel like a lot more traditional JRPGs, it would be more so like you grab all of the side quests that they're going to give you, and all of these side quests, just so happen to pertain to the area that you're about to go to. So you kind of naturally do them along the way. Whereas here it is like, oh, you reach a part where you can go do side quests, go do them, and then progress the story. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's my big gripe with like how they set that system up.
Yeah, like it pauses the main story to do the side stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I do like the characters. I think they like did a very good job. I guess like adding more to the characters in this game. Like, I have no gripe with them. It is just like the way they decided.
You mean the NPCs?
Like some of the NPCs, more so like the, I guess, like main characters, and like the secondary, the more major NPCs, I guess, like the like Briggs.
Chadley?
Fuck Chadley, dude. Oh my god.
Fuck Chadley,
man. There's a Chadley only podcast now.
Oh man.
Oh god.
Like that kid is so okay. That kid is weird, man. Like, he just shows up nowhere. He's like, oh, let me give you these tasks, and he's just everywhere. And I don't know. Chadley's weird, and he just walks around with fucking VR glasses that he stole from Shinra or something.
Put a pin in Chadley, because I want to talk about him more with Remake specifically as well, right?
Oh, okay.
Like an actual pin in Chadley. Yeah, just hang him off, like, his little
voodoo doll
short sleeve button up shirt that he's wearing.
Oh man.
I feel like, and Julian, I want to get your thoughts on this too, right? But like, I do feel like one of the issues with the side quests for me in this game, beyond just like the backwards sort of design of it, like Matt described, is they feel, one, inconsequential, and two, in the way of a story that is being treated as extremely urgent. And I don't know if you both got that same feeling as well, right? Because like for me, the main story is kind of like it's a race against the clock almost. But before we start the race, go do all these things and then clear out this map. And then like the side quests don't really have an impact on the world building. Forget the story, right? Because like I think that's too ambitious. Where it's like I don't think you need the side quests to impact the ending or anything like that. I'm not asking for like Mass Effect 1 or 2 here. What I'm asking for is just, does this story give you a unique perspective of this area or this map or this world that you're in? And I found that to be very far and few between. Even in just like kind of isolating that convo or like that statement to Remake, like even in that game, I felt like it was kind of lacking in that way. Like, Julian, did you have that feeling as well?
Yeah. So okay. So I'm gonna try to speak exclusively about Remake first, because I'm gonna crash out about the side quest in
Yes.
Rebirth. But in Remake, I feel like I'm kind of like on the same mind as what Matt's saying, is this idea that they do pause the game a lot to kind of like have you do these side quests, and I do agree that a lot of the times they feel a little bit inconsequential, because a lot of the times the side quests are tied specifically to Chadley, where it's like you're basically helping this person, I don't know, like make materia, and there's technically a gameplay reason for it, and like, doing these side quests like help you, like kind of like get stronger, quote unquote, but at the same time it doesn't really serve the world itself, because you're not really interacting with with the world around you. You're not interacting with the people. You're not doing like a side quest, for example, for like Tifa to kind of like get to know her more, etc. Like there's no aspect of that in Remake, I don't think. But on the other end of it, I think for me, the fact that I had a realization of like, okay, like these are very specifically for things on the gameplay side, where like if I want this materia, then I'll kind of complete this side quest.
Yeah.
I think for me, it made it easier for me to just be like, I can ignore this and move the story forward. Which is like I get the reasoning for wanting to do every single side quest before you kind of move on, but I think as I've gotten older, I've gotten to the point where like I haven't really, I think the completionist side of me has kind of like died a little bit, wherein I haven't really had a lot of time to play games. I think I have to be very picky about my time of like when I'm playing games and when I choose to play games. So I've gotten to the point that I think that if I know it's not really going to serve either the story, it's not going to affect the main story, it's not going to affect the ending, or B, it's not going to really affect my understanding of the world around, or the characters around, like the whole thing, I think it's a lot easier for me to just end up ignoring it and kind of just pushing the story forward and not really like doing it, I think. So for Remake specifically, and I'm talking Remake exclusively, because like Rebirth is a whole other like other thing we'll get to. But for Remake specifically, I think I was very much able to kind of just turn my brain off and be like, I want to see the story through. I want to see what's happening, because I do have an interest of like what they're doing. And I guess maybe we'll talk about that specifically later. But for me, wanting to kind of see it through, I was able to kind of just turn that part of my brain off and just go like, I'm just going to go forward with the story.
I do think for what it's worth, like it's a lot easier to see the story through in Remake, right? Because ultimately
it's more focused, I'd say.
It's linear.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say it's a linear RPG.
Yes.
Like it's not something that has like a crazy open world map or anything. I personally was pretty happy that the maps were as contained as they were.
Yeah,
to be quite honest with you.
Also,
Matt, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I do think that it is worth saying that I am somebody who didn't finish the original Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to ask, like, I'm not sure if there's the time for it, but like, have you either of you guys played through the either the full Final Fantasy VII original and the supplementary, like,
No.
Advent Children, Dirge of Cerberus, like all that bullshit?
I didn't even play the original.
No, I didn't play. I think I like didn't even finish disc 1 of Final Fantasy VII, to be honest.
Okay.
And but like I have like osmosed that whole story just through existing in like a JRPG Saturday.
Fair.
Yeah. I think like to be honest, like my main sort of like gaming habits started in early 2000s. By that point, I think like the generations had passed like PS1 quite a bit. So like trying to go back to play Final Fantasy 1 at that point wasn't really sort of like on the table for me.
Yeah.
I did try it. I just couldn't. I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
That's not to say like it's a shitty experience or whatever. I'm sure like folks that experienced it when it was like revolutionary, like of course, like, you know, I understand. But yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want to like take over the conversation here for a second. Because
Do it.
my thing is, I'm not sure. Okay, I don't know how to say this in a kind way. I'm not sure who this game, like who this trilogy is for.
Yeah.
Because you would assume a remake is something that they're kind of recreating in order to introduce it to a group of new people, right? Like that's one of the assumptions, or that's one of the main reasons to like make a remake, right? Like a game is super old. Final Fantasy VII, yes, is still exists. You can get it on the PC, you can get it on Steam, but a lot of people, especially with gaming habits as they are now, they're gonna look at a turn-based game where literally the characters are made of like 2 polygons, and they're gonna be like, I don't want to play this. So the assumption is you remake something for like that is more easily digestible for like a group of people to get introduced to it. This game, however, doesn't really do that, because a big aspect of the game, and I don't know if we want to pull the trigger on this conversation now, but a big aspect of the game is the idea of the whispers.
Yeah.
This idea of this game is not technically a one-to-one remake of Final Fantasy VII in the sense that it is technically a multiversal story where Sephiroth and Aerith, knowing the plot of the original game, are basically going back in time in some like not really like technically not through time travel but through like memories, are doing this weird like chess match of like trying to change the game in each other's favor.
Yeah.
But like in order to have that understanding, you need to have an understanding of the original Final Fantasy VII and its supplementary material, which is like all old now at this point, like over decades old. And over a decade of collection. Like there's like a lot of like other stuff, like other games too, like on the fucking Vita, for example.
Right. Yeah. You talking about Crisis Core?
Yeah, like all of these like older like things, like you kind of have to have the semblance. So like on one hand, like for a remake, if you do not have that idea, you're gonna go into this and be like, what is happening with these whispers? But on the other hand, if you do know this material, then it's like, this is kind of cool where they're kind of doing something differently, but at the same time, it's like, what if I came into this wanting to kind of just experience the original. So it's like, it's weird where it's like, I don't really know who this is for, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have thoughts on that, but
I think it's an extremely fair question to ask, right? And especially when like, so in my opinion, when you're trying to critique something quote unquote objectively, it's never going to be like truly possible, but like there are a few questions you can ask to try to be as fair about critiquing something as possible. For me, who is this for is one of those questions. And if it is not a clear enough answer, then I do think that is a failing of the production team and the game design, right? Like, I agree with you. I don't know who this game is for. I also agree with you that, yeah, like the conceptually, like, oh, this is like, you know, kind of a retelling of the game, yet a sequel of the game and stuff. If done right, it can be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But considering like we're also talking about how much of a drag it is to actually experience a story and to play the game and stuff like that, the story is hitting, right? And that, like, I think it's hitting good notes and like it's doing some cool shit there. Do I want to sit through 40 hours of this game to get to that point? I don't know.
Yeah.
And who would want to sit through 40 hours of that game, right? Like, Matt, would you want to sit through 40 hours of the game knowing what it's leading to?
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously I didn't, but like,
right, yeah.
like, honestly, I feel like knowing what this game is, I really would have preferred that they just didn't release it as 3 games. I think if it was paced as just like one big game, it probably would have been better. But you know, it is like, I don't know. That is like a whole different, just like what if type conversation.
I do think part of that also has to do with the annoying release model that like Square Enix has been using for Final Fantasy games, right? Like you had Final Fantasy X and X-2. You had 13 have 3 versions of the game. I don't think they did it for 14's online. 11's online. Don't think they did it for 12. Don't think they did it for 15 or 16. Or maybe 15 did have a second. I don't know.
And even for 10 and 10 too. Those were like 2 actually just legitimately separate ass games.
Yeah, those are separate games. Same with 13.
Sure. Yeah.
Like the 13 trilogy is like completely different from each other.
Yeah, so having not played that, like I wouldn't be able to speak on that, but I think like what I would want to get at with what I'm saying here is that there's a certain release model that they are familiar with whenever a game is hidden, right? Like they know that, okay, this is really popular, we need to put it out, like, you know, we need to put out more versions of this game or whatever.
Yeah.
I do think with 13 that had to do with like the pre-release hype being as significant as it was because of the whole PS3 360 console wars, like, you know, hysteria that was happening. That admittedly I was also a part of back in the day, right? So like I do think like that played a big role in when it eventually came out, they put out these multiple games. I feel like some of that decision making was happening here as well, where they knew that they wanted to put it out in multiple games. And so then you get to this point where, like Matt, you were saying earlier, you took 10 hours of the original game, expanded it to 40 in Remake. And then you get to all the open world stuff. And then you have a third game that is still going to be even more open world stuff. And it's like, does this game need to be 3? I agree with you. I don't think it does. I think you could have combined Remake and Rebirth into one package, kept it as a solid 15 hours of linear storytelling in Remake. And then if you still opened it up into Rebirth, I feel like that would have been a much better flow of this game, because I feel like then the open world would have hit a little bit differently, would have flowed a little bit better. And like, I just think that like the transition from one story to the next would have been better in that sense. But that is also like ultimately hindsight, right? Like we have the benefit of hindsight to say like, these would have been better as 2 games. I just wish they would have realized that when they're actually producing the games. Yeah, I mean, Rebirth, I think like the summary we can take from this is a very solid action game, a very good action game, buried in a lot of bullshit that was made manageable by it being a linear experience. Now, Matt, you know how annoying it is to do all the shit that you did in Remake? Okay, what if I told you, and Julian, I'm kind of stealing your gimmick from Crimson Desert here for a second. What if I told you they took all of those elements
and they fixed them?
Didn't fix any of them.
Oh, damn.
They didn't fix any of them. No.
Oh.
They made more of those elements, but they opened up the entire map, so it's no longer a linear experience.
Honestly, maybe opening the map actually makes it sound not as bad, but like if it is just as burdensome, I maybe not.
Absolutely not.
Oh, damn.
And Julian, like, you kind of alluded to this when you were talking about this like a month or so ago, where it's like they don't do a good job of introducing the open world to you. Like, you go from this very contained experience in Remake into this open world in Rebirth. And if I'm being honest, and tell me your thoughts on this as well, Julian, but like, it did not feel like they knew what they wanted to do with this map.
No, I do not think so.
Like, it just seems like a decision that they had to make, because they're like, okay, the self-contained, like, let's call it the prologue, is done. Now we need to open it up to the, you know, whole world, the main story and shit like that.
Yeah, because it's like this, in the original, this is where you get to the world map, so like we have to do that now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I wrote down these notes to you when we were originally talking about this, so I am going to read some of these out here, because the traversal in this open world, I'm very confused by it, all right?
Yeah.
So first off, by the way, sorry, why, I don't have this on the list, but why still in 2026, in an open world, does your main character not have the jump functionality?
Yep.
Right? There's an empty open world. So Matt, this one you're just gonna have to kind of like either watch some videos or trust us on this explanation here. It's an empty open world. Quests are scattered in a way where this region just feels completely detached from all of the other parts of the map. And so this also, Julian, kind of leads to, like, let's unpin Chadley here, right?
Okay.
Every single world building quest or log or journal that you get is through a Chadley quest.
Yeah.
And so, like, Chadley is very blatantly built and exists for the sake of doing lore dumps that, like, they simply did not want to design other NPCs for or other village towns for. And so, like, you have this extremely empty first off. Let's just stick to the opening world map for a second, right? You have this extremely empty first map that, like, you get to, and there's just some icons on the map and, like, towers and shit like that. And you go and look at these things, and it's just, like, inconsequential. So, first off, we played Assassin's Creed. We know how those Hawkeye vision thingies work, where you climb up on a tower, you know, get the lay of the land, and the map reveals itself. And so you use that, and then you know, have more of the neighborhood to traverse and expand and, like, you know, look at and shit like that, right? It's kind of pointless in Remake or Rebirth because you do that, but you're already, like, the map is already exposed to you. So you already know, like, the traversal. You already know where you're going with a lot of things. All it's doing is adding, like, icons to your map of, like, go do this shit here, go do this shit there, in a very detached way that is not, like, seamless. And so you get this, you go do whatever's on the map, Chadley pops up on this fucking holographic projection out of your wrist or whatever, and then, like, he gives you some lore dump.
Oh no, he's just there all the time now?
He's there the entire time. Like, he's
there the entire time.
Like, I hope you like Chadley, because he's fucking there.
I already thought it was
Matt.
weird that you just, like, you know, meet this kid in some slums, and then, like, oh, he's here in, like, this town now. Oh, now he's in, like, whatever, the brothel city, the walled city or whatever. It's like, okay, this kid's just getting around, and he's getting there faster than me.
No, he's your guy in the chair in this game. He's like,
Oh,
anytime you do anything, like, you scan, like, a piece of materia, you'll get a call. You know, like, that joke of, like, modern, you know, do you know that, like, YouTube series of, like, modern games, like, when they take, like, an old, like, Super Mario game, and they're like, it's like Mario walking, and it's like, and he gets a call, and it's like the princess, and she's like, oh, focus M, like, you know, that whole, like, joke.
Right.
Like,
I mean, it's a good gimmick. I haven't watched it, but that's a good gimmick.
that is, like, this game where, like, anything,
Yeah.
you're, like, doing something, and you get a call from Chadley, and he, like, talks to you for a bit, and I'm like, I don't care. Like, leave me alone, Chadley.
Also, Matt, you remember how you were saying, like, you hate when, like, you're walking regularly and then it slows you down on purpose? Welcome to more of that.
Oh.
Yeah, but now it's just Chadley too. So
Oh.
you're not just, like, you're not even, like, doing it talking to characters. You're doing it while Chadley is talking to you.
No, also,
Oh.
Julie, we haven't even mentioned the best part about Chadley in this game. You know, people loved Chadley so much in the first game, right? They made 2 Chadleys in this game.
Oh yeah, female
Oh, wait.
Chadley.
Female Chadley
Oh no.
and male Chadley.
Is this, okay, I have to really ask, because I honestly wouldn't put this past, like, what this game is. Is this a whole ass separate character, or did Chadley find a way to make a female version of himself?
I think it's a female version because Chadley's like a robot, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Chadley's a robot?
Android robot thing. Yeah.
I think he's like a robot by Shinra, which I assume.
Oh.
I wonder. I'm curious, and I don't know if there's gonna make the payoff worth it. If, like, at the end in, like, Reunion, we find out that Chadley's actually, like, evil or whatever because you're the one
Evil
training
Chadley?
him. Like, if he ends up becoming, like, Omega Weapon, which is, like, always the
oh,
ultimate
God.
boss.
That would be so
Like-
fucking funny.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay, that's a pretty good goof. I'm not sure if it makes it worth this, but that would be a pretty good
You're
goof.
scanning everything for him so that he knows how to fight you.
Yeah,
later.
so, like, he becomes the powerful weapon because of
Yeah.
you. So, like, I get that would be funny.
How many hours of Chadley is worth it to make him into an Omega weapon? Because between 3
Yeah,
games,
exactly.
you're going to be playing 100 hours.
I don't think it'll make it worth it. I just think it'll be a funny goof if they make him Omega Weapon.
Fair
It'll
enough.
be a very cathartic
Oh.
moment knowing that you
Yeah.
you can fight Chadley.
He has to look like Chadley when you fight him. Like, you have to be like, one of those robots that we were watching earlier, just like, roundhouse kicking children. Man. But it's, like, it is just like a crazy amount of lore dump happening through this character that is annoying.
singular
Also, there's a
character,
quirk on
yeah.
the singular character. Also, annoying quirk on the PS5, by the way. You could turn this off, but like, a lot of these games are designed to have audio playing through your controller as well.
Oh,
So
man.
Chadley's audio comes out of the controller. Now,
That compressed
Amazing.
bit rate, Chadley.
Amazing.
I haven't changed it myself because I'm like, you know what, man? It's at least something different. It's at least something cool. Like, I'm not like mentally checking myself out of like, listening to this annoying dude's voice, right? But like, it is a little bit annoying at times where you're playing it and you hear this little mechanical beeping sound effect that precedes Chadley showing up on your screen, and I'm like, oh fuck, here we go again. But Julian, like, what did you think about the hand holding in this game as well? Because I feel like that's another part of this that I was personally really annoyed by, before getting into some of the other notes that I've written down here.
Literal hand holding?
Handhold thing.
Literal, I mean, okay. So if I were to describe it, it's not like literal hand holding. I think it's more just like, and I remember this one Donkey video where he used to talk about the differences between Horizon 1 and Horizon Forbidden West, and how like the ledge climbing had become a little bit too like obvious in the second game because they had specifically colored the ledges yellow in that
Oh
one.
yeah, the whole yellow paint thing. Yeah,
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
And so a lot of that yellow painting is happening in this game as
Yes,
well. And like
100%.
there's a lot of, I would say, like blatant hints added in that like just kind of take away the charm of the discovery, right? And that to me also speaks a little bit to like, again, they don't know what they're doing with this map, but then like they're just kind of trying to make it an RPG for the sake of it being an RPG. Whereas if they had just done this as an action game, still focused, still a little bit linear. Sure, it's a major departure from the original game map opening up and stuff like that, but like that's where this game's strengths are. And that's where this game could have shown quite a bit. But like it just, yeah, like the open world feels so lifeless to me, and like it's sad because there is potential there. Like when you read the journals and you read the logs and stuff like that, there is actually a lot of stuff in those texts that's like, you could have made a character to talk about these things and it would have been a really cool addition to the story and stuff, but it just never happens.
Mhm.
And it kind of, yeah, like that's a bummer to me as well. But yeah, Julian, like going back to like, the side quests coming from Chadley and stuff, right? Like what are even the side quests for me is what's annoying as well, because like all the Chadley missions to like complete 100% the map is go to this waypoint, scan a crystal, which by the way, has a QuickTime event attached to it, which if you fail the QuickTime event, it doesn't actually fail and like permalock the area or anything like that for you, or like come back here later.
Mhm.
It just kind of makes you hit the button again.
Yeah. My big thing. Okay, so gonna have like a slight crash out corner here. I think my problem
it.
here with the side
Cruise's
quests-
Crashout corner.
Yeah, I guess this whole thing is crash out corner.
3Ks. No, I'm joking.
I think my big thing here with the side quests, like you're talking about, is that for me it feels more tied to progression.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking at Remake, you could technically play that game, do some of the side quests, but you get enough of the actual story experience to level up enough that you could kind of push through it. Like, I do not recall having to really grind out in a Remake, especially when I started to like near the end of the game, like the back end of the game, where I was kind of ignoring a fair amount of the side quests to kind of just finish this game, finish the story. I still was able to finish it. I didn't really have a hard time. I was able to kind of do it because the game was still kind of feeding you experience. The game was still kind of feeding you the materia. The game was still kind of feeding you like summons, like whatever you need to kind of continue. The problem with the side quest here is I think it is more closely tied to the progression of the game, because it does that thing a lot of open worlds do, where the expectation is you are doing the side quests, where you start the game at a certain level, and the next main story mission you are going to do is at a level recommendation that is much higher than where you are at. So there, you technically cannot just like beeline to the story and kind of like press it forward without having some difficulties. You would then technically have, and this is an assumption I assume the game makes, because that in terms of the language of the game, this is kind of where I'm being pushed, where you have to kind of do a bit of the side questing in order to kind of level up enough. All of the summons that I've encountered so far are tied to Chadley quests. So if you want to have summons, you have to do Chadley quests. All the high-end materia. So the game introduces what is essentially a crafting mechanic, where you can technically buy stuff in towns, but in order to get high-end gear, so if you want to get high-end gear, if you want your characters to be equipped well, if you want your characters to have really good materia, there's materia tied behind Chadley quests. So like, there's one materia, for example, the blue materia that makes your characters do autocast. So like your partners won't do any like auto magic unless you have this materia. So in order to kind of do things, in order to get to where Remake is, I'm not sure, I'm gonna try to word this the best way I can. In order to get to where Remake is, you have to engage with the side quest material, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, in order for you to have proper gear, proper materia, have the summons, you have to craft it. And the only way to craft it is to get points, like Chadley points. I forgot what the game calls it, but like Chadley points. I'm going to just call them Chadley points. You need Chadley points to craft them. So like, if you're not engaging with the side quests, if you're not engaging with the open world, I assume if you put it to easy, I assume if you're really good at the game, you could technically push through it. But you are at a significant disadvantage as opposed to, like, if you're just in Remake, you're just in for the story, and you just kind of continue.
Yep.
So, like, the game is, in all aspects of the game, in all of the language of the game, it wants you to engage with this open world. But the open world, like we've already talked about, is, like, the most non-consequential bullshit. Yeah. Like, my big thing is, I do not understand how this game is getting a pass. Because the moment, and this isn't me defending Ubisoft, because I do understand Ubisoft has problems. There's a lot of problems, especially with microtransactions in their stores, etc. But the moment a Ubisoft game gets announced, everyone immediately, all gamers are going to be like, open world slop or Ubi slop, like almost immediately, right? But yet, for some reason, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth gets such a pass that there was a huge contingency of people that were wanting it to be nominated and win Game of the Year the year it came out. And I don't understand it, because everything you can criticize a Ubisoft game for is here. That hand-holding of, like, what you're talking about, Rakush, that hand-holding of, like, you know, yellow paint on, like, everything to kind of, like, show you where you can and can't go. The open world, like, basically kind of like empty open world where you just run around and do, like, mindless tasks in order to kind of, like, level up. Like, it's all here. But I don't understand. There's this big discrepancy in my head. I was like, I don't understand why this game is getting such a huge pass. But, like, everyone is so immediate to knock on other open world games. Like, this, to me, this is 1-to-1. I don't understand it.
I really do think it kind of comes down to iconic characters, right? Like, if you're a fan of Final Fantasy VII, you've been invested in, like, all of these characters: Cloud, Tifa, Aerith, like,
I guess, but you can also make the argument that that's not even the case, because it's not technically the same characters. If you play Final Fantasy VII Original, it's not going to be these characters, because these characters are affected by the whole meta narrative they have of, like, this is technically like a retelling, you know? So it's not even really that, technically, if you want to split hairs here.
No. So technically you're correct. like it's not the same characters. I understand all of that stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
I think that is asking or trusting. I think that is trusting online discourse a little bit too much to be nuanced, and I just that's something you're not going to get from those experiences, right? So I think that's where is it technically different characters? Yes. Are like the average grumpy people online going to be like noticing that? I don't think so. Um, there is like I think you make a great point as well about just sort of like you need to do the open world stuff.
Yeah, you kind of have to engage with
However,
it. Yeah.
yeah, and like it's just that the open world stuff is not designed to be a good open world, right? And so you basically get like just this dead world that you don't get to experience by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for this game to be Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm like, no game is going to get to that level of just sort of like do whatever the fuck you want. Like, that's whatever. The issue that I have with the linear open world is that you're not trusting the player enough to go and find things by themselves, to go and experience things by themselves. And I'm on, I think, like the third or fourth region of this map right now. I've finished the Meridian Ocean. I'm on the beach map area right now. Finished all the fan service stuff there. And like there's still just nothing about this game to me that suggests that the game developers, the producers trusted the player enough to go and find things by themselves or to explore and make mistakes. And I think like that's a big part of it is like they're just not allowing or like not giving the players enough room to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
I understand I'm playing this on easy mode, so I'm making that choice myself to like avoid the mistakes, but I'm playing it on easy mode because there is no part of this game experience outside of the action that makes me want to experience it any further, right? Like I just kind of want to get through whatever is a drag and get to the next point to see what the story beats are.
Yeah.
If it were a little bit,
What does easy like, actually change? Is it just like
enemy difficulty? I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't really looked into it to be honest. I was like, I'm going easy on this because I do like there's gonna be a drag in this game, and I just kind of wanted to get through it as much as I could. It's also why like look, I love the gameplay. I am not criticizing the gameplay at all, but like none of the traversal stuff is impacted by the difficulty, right? And like I think yeah, it's just like there's so many small design decisions that also just play a big role in making this game less fun for everybody. Not being able to jump. The chocobos are decent and like they have decent speed, but then the map is extremely choppy in a way that doesn't necessarily allow you to traverse it with ease.
Yeah.
But then also like smaller things like opening up a chest or digging in a specific spot with a chocobo, like the controls for those are also so sensitive that like even opening a chest sometimes takes me like 2 or 3 tries of hitting the button because I'm not angled correctly enough to like get that like chest. And that doesn't sound like a big deal, but when you're doing that for 40 hours, for 50 hours, and it's constant in this open world, like that shit adds up in a really annoying way.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if this is gonna make sense, and maybe I'm just like delusional here. But I feel like it still plays like Remake. It made sense for it to play like this in Remake because Remake was very contained. I don't feel like they adjusted that play, like that gameplay loop and that controls. I don't think they adjusted it well for an open world. It still feels like it's meant to be played in like these constrained hallways that Remakes has. Yet, like they just transfer that 1-to-1 into this open world. Because like when you think of modern open worlds, you're thinking of like the biggest thing that people always look at now with open worlds is ease of accessibility when it comes to like your momentum of movement, right?
Yes.
So like you will always find nowadays in an open world like how fast you can move through it. Like you can usually jump, you can usually climb anything, you usually have some kind of like Breath of the Wild like glider to help you get across things. So there's this aspect of like when it comes to an open world, we have gotten to the point in gaming where we know what like really good and really responsive open world controls look like. But I do
Mhm.
not think they even made any consideration for that when making this game.
I think that's a great point because the issue is those narrow corridors still exist in the combat, right? So like
Yeah.
you still have those contained areas where you have to like fight and like do all those things. But yeah, like it just needs to be a lot snappier, a lot crisp,
Mhm.
like crisper with like the traversal and the movements and stuff like that. Because yeah, it's like even just beyond like the hand holding, it is also a drag to just like walk around on the chocobos or whatever. Like it's just not fun.
Mm-hmm.
And we haven't even talked about the most not fun part of this, Julian, which is the mini games.
Goddamn minigames.
Oh,
So I can't. Okay, I actually cannot remember this from Remake. There's not a lot of mini games there, right?
I don't
not
think so.
really.
Like,
You can do squats. I remember that one.
Okay.
yeah, the squats
Right,
and the
yeah.
DDR dancing stuff.
Oh man, the
Okay.
rhythm game when you're in like the honeybee inn was
Yeah.
so bad.
Oh, Matt,
Uh-huh.
Matt, listen, we heard you. Julian, I'm stealing your gimmick again. Matt, we heard you.
Mm-hmm.
How would you like to play an equally annoying mini game where you have to play the piano almost pitch perfect?
Ooh, I mean, it depends on how it controls. Because like, I think the issue with the honeybee inn mini
You
game.
have to use analog sticks.
Oh, to control the piano.
Yes.
It's like it's a there's two circles and it's basically like a rhythm game of like there's two circles and you have to have like flick the control stick to the note like when it hits.
Oh, like Guitaru
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Kind of.
That actually doesn't sound. That actually doesn't sound bad.
I think it's fine. It's better than the dancing.
Mhm.
Okay. As someone that doesn't have the, hand-eye coordination that he used to, and even when I used to, it was pretty average. It's a pretty shitty minigame there, right? What else have they added to this one? Fuck, I've already like started zoning out some of these. The Clash of Clans minigame, Julian. Do you want to crash out on that?
That's where I put the game down and never put it back up.
Oh wait, what?
Okay, before we get to that, so this game is
Okay.
filled with goddamn mini games out the ass, and they like every complaint I had about the fact that you kind of have to engage with the open world in order to kind of like gain enough resources to craft items to be properly leveled, to be properly whatever. Some of those things, some of those quests that you have to do are not just the gameplay you would expect. A lot of the times you have to do them attached to like a lot of the times those quests are attached to like a mini game. So number one, there is the whole Queen's Blood mini game,
Yeah.
which is the card game, like the overall card game that like you kind of have to. So like it's like deck building, collecting cards,
Mm.
whatever. This is like fine. It's annoying, but like I'm used to it because like a lot of Final Fantasies have this. Like Final Fantasy VIII had one. I forgot the name for it. Final Fantasy 14, the MMO, I'm a big fan of, and like it also had a card game. So I'm like, fine, whatever. Like this is okay. Like I don't really mind this. And then like the fucking Clash of Clans thing hit. Yeah, I was doing a Chadley quest. I was in the second map. I was already kind of like hating my life, like playing this.
Mm.
And then in order to complete the Chadley quest, I had to go to this area, and then there's a board game on the ground, and then they interact it, and then they're like, oh, and they get sucked into the board game, and then they look like they're like Final Fantasy 7 PS1 things, which is like fine, whatever. That's a little charming. But the board game thing is basically like a pseudo Clash of Clans game where you're collecting pieces, you're collecting like fighters in the open world to use to win. So in order to complete these Chadley quests, you have to basically play Clash of Clans.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it's like, I think that was the moment where I was like, I was already collecting cards. I was already building decks for this card game. Now the game also wants me to collect figurines and build figurine decks for this other mini game. That was the moment I put the controller down and I was like, I am not playing this game anymore.
Well,
the amount of confidence they had in that mini game as well is they're like, we're just gonna add an easy mode to this one.
Yeah.
Even if you're playing it on easy mode, just skip it. They were like, nah, fuck this. It's too much. So like, if you're developing a game and you're creating a game and you're adding easy modes to the mini games, you're adding Chadley as a lore dump instead of building out like, extra towns and stuff. If you're adding yellow ledges, painted ledges all over the place and adding directions and like doing all of that shit, you're not trusting the player to find these things themselves. 2, you're not trusting yourself. You're not showing any confidence in like what you're putting out into the world as well. Now, part of that might have to do with like Square Enix might be like forcing them to do this shit. Fair, but like, yeah, I don't know. What are you gonna say?
I mean, okay, I think that adding easy modes to minigames is very, very I think a very, very good idea. Because just coming from a gacha context where, or I guess like a live service game context where they're always going to be adding like new events and stuff and like, oh, hey, here's like a little mini game to like break up the pace of the main game. And honestly, some of those mini games just don't hit. And I really, really appreciate it when they add a streamlined mode to it where you can still basically get the rewards from it without, really having to sink deep into the game. And then if you want to sink deep into the mini game, there is a part of the mini game like where you can do that.
I think like I agree with you on that like it's good to have an easy mode there, but like if it is not crucial, but like if it is a part of like one of a only small handful of side quests that you have to complete and it's such a prominent part of the game, to me it's like just make it an optional, right? Like just make it something that isn't gatekeeping like an item that might be worth using, like with the character or something like that. And that's just like, that to me is the issue with something like this, where it's like if you don't have that confidence to make it like a good enough part of like your game and your side quests and stuff like that, then just kind of put it in a hub world somewhere where like somebody can just go play it. I think why Queen's Blood works for me personally is it's just you go to the hub worlds, the cities, and like you can play it if you want, like do whatever if you want, but like you don't have to go out of your way to play it. And I think that's my issue with this one.
Okay. Yeah.
Last thing I wanted to kind of talk about, because we've somehow gotten to 90 minutes with this episode. I guess time flies when you're complaining.
I mean, we should talk about the good parts of this game at some point. But
we did. The combat, it's really good, but it's just so much bullshit around it.
I mean,
I think that's my issue with it.
Like, okay.
But
I do have a positive about...
Okay.
But I'll
let me just say this one last negative, and then we'll end it on a positive note. This is an issue in Remake, and it's an issue here as well, but like I feel like you don't see enough of Midgar and Junon, because these are massive towns that you get zero visibility on. And by the time you finally make it to those areas, the neighborhoods are just like 2 streets. And to me, like, if you're trying to make a world-spanning game, like, just this massive game and scale and scope and stuff like that, I feel like that is a major issue for me personally, where it's like, you just simply don't get to see the way of living in these places enough. And these are like the 2 largest hubs in all of like, this game world. I don't know if that's going to get fixed in the 3rd game or not, but like to me, it was a big, like, to me, it was a problem that I wasn't like, this is it. Like, that was absolutely my reaction to all the times that like, you see like these big cities that they've been talking about in these games. I don't know if you guys had that same experience with Midgar and Julian. I think you dropped it before you got to Junon, but yeah.
Are you talking about like in Rebirth or Remake?
Remake.
Okay, so you're talking about in Remake, you don't feel like they explore Midgar enough.
So I don't think they explore Midgar or Junon enough.
Oh, okay.
And Junon is in Rebirth. You just haven't gotten to it, I guess. So like it's tough for me to kind of get like vindication or validation on that Crashout. But like, yeah. To me, it's like if you're treating these and like you have dialogue throughout the game that is talking about how these are the 2 largest cities, like, in the land, and you only show us 2 streets of those cities, to me, that's where it's like, yeah, this kind of really falls flat here, right?
Yeah, I think that's unfortunately probably more so a consequence of like the development of these games. Because like I don't know if this
Mhm.
makes sense, and I don't know if this justifies it. I don't think it will. But like if you're thinking about Remake,
hmm
I think like that was their first game, so they're still kind of like building up this engine, building up this whole thing. So like in terms of like exploring Midgar, and the problem too is that they're constrained by, in a lot of ways, constrained by the original, which is
hmm
once again the consequence of what like Matt mentioned, where they're kind of like taking an early part of this game, which is in the grand scheme of the entire Final Fantasy VII, is quite a bit like just the beginning parts and stretching it into a full game. So like there isn't an aspect of like being able to explore a lot of Midgar in the first game.
hmm
In the second game, again, I don't know. I didn't reach Junon because I like I said, I blanked out when I got to Clash of Clans. Um, so like it might be different, but I assume with Junon the problem then becomes is the focus is kind of away from the towns and the focus is on the open world. So this could potentially be fixed in the third because apparently they're doing the entire world open map thing flying around. Maybe, but I don't know. Like I don't think that justifies it. I'm just saying like I feel like there's a reason for it, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I hear
I
you,
mean,
Yeah.
right? And go ahead, Matt.
I mean, I'm kind of on the opposite side, to be honest. I think they show you a lot of Midgar. Like,
You think so?
I think they show you what? They show you slum life in Midgar. Or they show you like the rich slums of Walled City in Midgar. They show you the civilian part where like you're going to go visit Jesse's family. They show you like highways. They show you the structural build of like when you're trying to go like meet Briggs.
Oh, when you're under the plate.
Yeah, when you're under the plate.
Yeah.
Like they show you the reactors. Like they show you. I think they show you a whole lot of Midgar.
So I should correct myself then, because I think what I'm talking about is Walled City specifically, right? Because like that is the Midgard that you don't see a lot of personally, and I think like part of that for me has to just do with like, I don't know, like you see the suburbs, and like that's
Yeah.
kind of it. And to get to that area, you don't really see a lot of the city itself either, right? And so I think like what I just wanted to see was like something that just explains the scale of this world personally. And maybe it's a subjective thing, but yeah, I don't know. I just didn't feel like I got enough of that. But
Yeah, fair.
it seems like, after an hour of negative stuff, some positives, we do want to end it on a positive note because, we're old and we don't like sad endings. What are the positives, Matt?
Dude, the combat in this game is fucking out of this world, I think.
It's
Amazing.
really good.
I
will
really
agree.
like the combat in this game. Like, I was looking at it initially, I'm like, oh, they just like ripped Kingdom Hearts. But while they did do kind of like, I guess, half of that, they did incorporate, I think, the ATB in a very, very interesting
Yes.
way, except for the fact that, like, what do you call it? The scan uses the ATB. That's bullshit. And I hope
Oh,
that,
like the SS?
yeah. And I hope that in Rebirth they
Yeah.
change that. But I'm assuming they did it.
Nope.
They
But
didn't. No.
I think it like controls in a very, very nice way. I do not like how you can't change your shortcuts in the middle of a fight, but that's like just a whole like, other thing. It controls very well. Like them just like slowing down time when you're like navigating through the menu. Great choice. The way that the enemies are designed is just so good, I think, because you can't, or well, I guess you can kind of just like, hit square and like mash against them, but they are designed in like such a cool way that even normal enemies have an optimal way to fight them. Like, I remember that it was just a side quest enemy, but there was that enemy where you have to kind of like, I think it's the first enemy that does this in this game, and they kind of like from that point continue on this kind of thing where you have to break them with the wind spell before you can do like real damage to them. It's like that, those like kind of like floating blue, not ghost looking things, but these mechanical like flying things. And
Yeah.
even just having that kind of level of
Layering of like the skills. Yeah.
like fight depth, or like within an enemy, or within honestly a basic enemy, I think is like really, really good. And I don't know, I thought for me a real highlight were the fights against the Turks. I thought like
Yes.
the fights that I did against them were all very, very good. And
Yeah.
I don't know, like the combat is so good, except for stupid ass Hell House. That thing was fucking stupid. But yeah, like I wish there was just more combat in this game that I could do and have easy access to.
I want to like tack on to this also of
Mhm.
when it comes to the combat, like the combat they do really well, and I do like how they evolve it in Rebirth.
Oh.
So the big thing with a lot of action games, the action heavy Final Fantasy. So if we're thinking about like the later ends, the 15, 16, a lot of the thing that goes missing on the wayside is that interaction with your party.
Mm.
Because Final Fantasy VII, at the end of the day, has always kind of been like you are forming a group of people, and it's a group of people that is going around to save the world. Like from Final Fantasy 1, you've always kind of been making a group of people. You've been making a party. 15 and 16, like 15, you have a party around you, but you don't really control them. You're kind of just focusing on. I'm forgetting his name now because I only played 15 when it like came out. In 16, you have Clive, but Clive is oftentimes by himself for most of the game. So he's kind of by himself, minus like the dog. But like again, like it's not a big party. 7 Remake, I think, does a really great job of like making sure that it is action heavy, yet it is still considering the fact that you are part of a party. And I really like how they evolve this in Rebirth, where a lot of the game's combat is now tied to the whole I can't recall the name now, but it's like there's a partner system where it incentivizes you to switch between the characters. So you're incentivized to not just stick to one person. You're incentivized to kind of learn everybody on an equal playing field. In order to gain meter, in order to do like really powerful combo attacks of like the two characters. So like they're kind of taking, I think they're kind of like it's that continuous consideration of like having that party and kind of using that party. So like you're not just and I felt this in the battles in Rebirth, where you're not just Cloud, you are like Cloud and Co. Like you are a full party, and like when you are in a battle, when you're fighting, you're moving as a unit as opposed to one character, which I always liked and I always appreciated.
I will say, like, I think I'm coming around to the combo mechanics and the combo system quite a bit in Rebirth. However, I did get a little bit annoyed by the fact that like the combo skill unlocks were so early on in the skill tree when I just wanted to increase like the character's base stats. That's maybe like one criticism I have there, but like the actual execution of the combos moves and stuff, it's really good.
Yeah, I think that thing though is like a consequence of, and again, it's I feel like I wish the game kind of telegraphed this more, but I think that is a consequence of the fact that they want you to. So the first few hours of Rebirth for me, I was playing it like Remake, where I was only Cloud, and I was doing everything I can as just Cloud. But then the unfortunate fact is that the game's combat in Rebirth is built around the fact that you should be switching around.
Yeah.
You should be switching around to other people. You shouldn't just be with this one person, because it's how you kind of build meter. So like I wish the game kind of telegraphed this better, but I think that unfortunately is just a consequence of the fact that like the game wants you to play differently. So that's why most of the upgrades at the beginning is the co-op stuff, is the party stuff. But again, like I don't think the game really tells you that well. Like if you're going from Remake to Rebirth, you will play it like Remake, where you are probably just Cloud for most of it.
I mean, the game got a lot more interesting for me in Remake once I realized, hey, it is better to play as everybody. Like you build meter faster, you have more variety, like it's a lot less downtime. I think like when it clicked that I should be switching, it got a lot better, except for when I was playing with Barrett, because I feel like his gameplay is a little bit boring.
You know what though, Barrett is really good for just like, honestly, shockingly, because of his range, I found him to be the best support character, like for like heals and shit like that, than like even like an Aerith or anyone else.
it is so crazy that in this game they had so many flying enemies that you can't like
Yes.
target.
Yeah, I'd agree. They fixed that in Rebirth, where
Yeah.
everyone,
Oh, okay, that's good.
if you hold the attack button, you auto like launch yourself to the enemy.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. Because like,
Now,
oh man, the Drakes in this game were killing me.
I do still kind of feel like that issue exists a little bit with some of the flying characters, but yeah, like I've just kind of fallen into the default of like use the range characters as much as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they improve like Barrett's like gameplay loop in any way? Because I felt like he was really just like spend your triangle button ability and then just like shoot until he fills the bar and cast something, then switch off of him.
It's more of the same.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like it's slightly better. Like it is
think
like
so?
it is mostly standing and kind of like holding the button and he's firing. But I
Okay.
think the weapon upgrade system, you can kind of have it in a way where you have other easily accessible abilities
I see.
to access as him. But yeah, I would say I would agree with Rakush. He is I feel like he is better as kind of as a support character.
Okay.
Yeah. I do feel like this game rewards range characters
Yeah.
quite a bit, which unfortunate for Tifa.
I really like playing as Tifa. I thought her gameplay loop was actually like really fun with building up her
Yeah.
like what is overpower strength or whatever.
Yeah. It's really
Yes.
Omni Strike, I think, is what you're thinking, right?
Yeah, well, because like, okay, maybe they changed it in like in Rebirth, but like you have to use that one ability she has to like iterate through her.
Power up, level up.
Yeah,
Oh,
level up the power up thing to like iterate through. I kind of like that system, and even with like Ares' setting up of like wards was like I thought like an interesting like gameplay loop, especially when I realized that other players or other characters can like use the wards themselves if they're just standing in it.
Yeah. I will, yeah, like, I mean, the variety of the characters and, like, the use cases for the characters is really well balanced in this game. Like, you can definitely... There's no wrong combo, I don't think, with this game.
No.
Even with, like, Tifa not necessarily, for my playstyle, feeling as effective, I think you can definitely use her in, like, some good scenarios. So, yeah, I think it's, like, really well balanced there.
Yeah. Is there any okay, so you guys mentioned like the combo attacks in Rebirth. Did they add any other new like battle mechanics? Because I'm assuming they add like more spells and stuff, but like that's I guess like more expected than whole other new mechanics.
Yeah. No, the big change is the combo stuff. So there's two types of like combo things where there's the quick ones where if you hold the block button, if you hold the block button, the face buttons change into you being able to ask one of your partner party characters to do something for you. So for example, there's as Cloud, I think there's a partner skill with Tifa where you launch Tifa at the enemy. So like there's a quick one there. But there's also a meter with partners. Like if you do enough stuff with if you do enough ATB. So like every time you do an ATB move, you get like a yellow like pip, I guess. And the yellow pips can be used to do a stronger partner attack. And the partner attack is both characters kind of doing both of them need to have a certain number of yellow like meter in order for you to execute it. And basically what it does one of three things actually. One, it'll do a really powerful attack that does high damage. Number two, it often leaves a buff. So it's either a buff for the two people you used, or a debuff for the enemy you attacked. And the third one is that it feeds into the game. The game now has a social system where you gain like a social like persona, like social points or whatever with the characters.
Okay,
in your
we
party.
S-link in. Okay.
Yeah.
Which, again, even that feels inconsequential. We didn't really talk about that much, but yeah.
Yeah, like to like mild spoilers, like it only really matters who you end up with in like if you know like the original game, like in the Gold Saucer part, who you
the date
go on
thing
the
or
Ferris
whatever.
wheel with. Yeah, so like whoever you end up with on the Ferris wheel is like the highest person you have with the social points.
Red 13, got you.
Yeah. But yeah, like so that's kind of like what it feeds into. But I feel like that's the biggest change outside of the holding. So like if you hold the attack button, you auto launch yourself at enemies, which is nice because it is a a reliable way to be in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And what they have added now, and I think this is in Remake as well, but it's less reliable there. But there are specific combo attack or specific skills that you can only use in the air.
Oh, okay.
So like your skill set can change depending on like what you have on the ground versus what you have in the
That's
air.
good.
Yeah.
So if you launch yourself in the air, like your skill set can change differently. And yeah, so like there's quick buttons you can press to do that. So like those are the biggest changes that I caught. But yeah.
Wait, did they let you summon like normally yet, or is it only like on normal? Okay, because I really didn't like that you could only summon on like boss fights in Remake.
Oh, you can summon whenever.
Okay.
As long as
the
build
meter fills.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
I know we're talking about like the positives here, so I'm trying again not to bring this segment down, but like, how did you guys feel about the equipment / weapon rollout for this game? For both games, I guess.
I mean, that would be me getting to the negatives. So Matt, take it away.
Yeah, like okay, I'll be honest. After I like kind of handled the first few weapons, like going through that kind of upgrade sphere thing, I at some point just like switched it to like, hey, do the auto upgrades for me because I didn't want to be bothered with that anymore. And I don't know, like I thought it was like okay. I didn't think it was like anything particularly interesting. I'm like indifferent on the I don't know if this like continued into Rebirth, but I was okay on the kind of like weapon skills tied to weapon, then you have to like master it to like get it onto other weapons. I do like
yeah, that's fine. That continues.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do like that this game does do the kind of thing where the weapons aren't necessarily always straight upgrades. They are side grades for some of them.
Okay.
Oh, is that another thing you like?
I want to talk about this.
Uh-huh.
I want to talk about this. I don't know if I love or hate it. I think I actually want to talk about it because I'm a little bit undecided on that. Because I haven't played, like, I'm a decent amount of time into Rebirth at this point, right? Where I've been hoping for more weapon unlocks, personally. And it's always been cool in these games when you get the weapon unlocks. That is the positive here. Like, I do actually like the weapon unlocks, but I think it doesn't feel like a major power-up for your character. And again, that's neither good nor bad. I think it is good that they've kind of balanced out the equipment in a way where it's situational, and I think it's good to use what is based on your playstyle potentially. But it does take away a little bit from like that like sense of like your character has in fact gotten stronger 30 hours into this game. And that's where it feels a little bit lacking for me personally. Julian, since I did open up the floodgates a little bit for the negative here, talk about it.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I already mentioned it, but my big thing about the weapon progression is that it is unfortunately tied to Chadley points.
Yeah.
Like in order to I mean, this is a Rebirth thing. It's not less so in Remake. In Remake, I have the same opinions as Matt, where it's like it is pretty inconsequential. I usually switch the weapons out based on whether I've fully learned the ability yet, and then if I fully learned the ability, then I'll kind of just switch to the highest damage dealing or the one that has the most material slots. But in terms of Rebirth, unfortunately, a lot of the weapons and the armor is tied to the crafting system they have, and in order to do the crafting system, you do have to do the Chadley quests and get Chadley points. So that's my big negative about it, is that like you can't. I mean, you could theoretically just buy some of the weapons, but in order to get like the really good ones, you technically do have to engage with the side quests, which we have already kind of talked a lot about.
That's fair.
I'm guessing in Rebirth they don't introduce a system that's like letting you upgrade the weapons, kind of Souls-esque, like, oh, you found a weapon type that you groove with, like these are, it like increases stats that you like for this character. But and I'm guessing like you just can't like upgrade them to, I guess, boost its potential to make there feel like there's some like power growth there, or no?
No, and it's weird because like I don't know. I don't know if this is like a weird like thought or whatever, but like so much of the game talks about the Buster Sword as kind of like Cloud's iconic
Oh
weapon.
yeah.
Um, and like how everything is around like the Buster Sword, how it has ties to Zack, how it's like it's a carrying this fake persona. Like if you know Cloud's whole deal, how it's like technically he's like
Yeah.
he thinks he's
Uh-huh.
Zack. So it's like this whole thing, yet like I got rid of the Buster Sword like within like 2 hours of the game because
Yeah.
you immediately get a better
Guy.
weapon.
Yeah.
So it's like there. I wish there was a way to like upgrade because I would stick to the Buster Sword lore wise because like
Uh-huh.
I feel like it should be the only weapon that Cloud is using until a certain point where he like crashes out and like realizes he's not
Uh-huh.
Zack.
Guy.
But yeah, like I don't know. I wish there was an upgrade system. I wish that existed.
There is a part of like that game where you get a baseball bat as Cloud's weapon, and of course I have to like equip that because at the time that was a good weapon, and I wanted like its weapon skill, but they do not change the sound effects for that weapon. You were still making like metal ass
slashing sounds.
You're making hollow metal ass sound. Like I had it equipped at a
Yeah.
scene where like Cloud went to go. I think like, it was like sleep at like Ares' house or whatever. So he like puts the baseball bat down, and it still makes like the metal clanging noise. That was a good goof.
Bad. Yeah, it's again like I think that's more like a stylistic choice of like
course.
how the weapon progression goes and stuff. So it's not like I loved or hated it. Like they did it like I think they delivered on what they were trying to deliver with that. I do just wish like the game had a little bit more of a Tifa's now stronger kind of moment, which it hasn't necessarily felt like that in Rebirth.
Yeah.
I like that you can see the materia. I rearranged materia so they look more aesthetically pleasing to me.
That is some sort of undiagnosed condition that you've got there, buddy.
I don't know. There's like that one sword that Cloud has where like they're arranged in a triangle, and I had like 2 purples and a yellow in there, and I didn't like it when the yellow was in like either of the upper corners of the sword.
Fair enough.
So,
Fair enough. Julian, what are your sort of like final positive thoughts on this game?
Okay, I don't know if this is an insane opinion. I don't think it is. I just think it's like, okay, so going back to my thought of like, who is this game for? I like the meta narrative, and I know that is controversial because a lot of people are like, they don't like how it's a lot of people I think would argue that they don't like the fact that it's not a 1-to-1 remake because Final Fantasy VII, as old as it is, if it was a 1-to-1 remake, I don't think anyone would bat an eye.
Yeah.
But I am unfortunately in the very hyper-specific scenario where I played Final Fantasy VII, the original. I engaged with the supplementary material where I watched Advent Children. I played Dirge of Cerberus. I played Crisis Core. I am technically so like to like I guess like twist it here. Like technically this game is for me. To like go back to that to go back to my question of like who is this game for? Because anytime they change things or anytime they do something that like like they change the story, they change something and the game doesn't really like maybe address it or something, I'm able to pick up on it and I'm like, that's an interesting change. I wonder where they're gonna go with it. So there's this this contextual meta narrative, and we didn't really talk about it too much here, but it is that idea of like technically Sephiroth and Aerith to a lesser extent know what is happening. Aerith hints a lot of it in Remake, less so in Rebirth. Of like her knowing her fate, her knowing what's happening, and still kind of going through with the story of Final Fantasy VII and still trying to kind of like protect. So it becomes this meta narrative of like, when it comes to remakes, do we do what we can to protect the original? Do we fight to protect what we have? or do we do what we can to try to change it and update it? Because like that would be like Sephiroth's side technically,
Mhm.
where he knows he loses. At the end of the day, he understands like the entire narrative of Final Fantasy VII. At the end of the day, he's the one that will lose. He loses. So it's this idea of like kind of like changing this narrative. And like you know, there's a lot of arguments you can kind of make of this idea of like when you are remaking something, like how faithful
Uh-huh.
do you want it to be? Like how close to it do you want it to be? And I kind of like that because like you know like even in the end of 7 remake, like the people that die at the end of 7 remake is different from the people that die in the original.
Mhm.
Um and even to the fact that Sephiroth appears in remake in Midgar when he doesn't really appear until like after the fact in the original. So like there is like these pieces that have moved, and I really like that. I think my just to not to be a bummer or whatever, I think my problem then becomes when we get to Rebirth is that I feel like, and I'm not sure, I don't have any evidence of this, so this is all circumstantial. I think they got scared of the reaction people had to the ending of Remake. Because the ending of Remake is completely new. It's this idea of like fighting Sephiroth, where they shouldn't even know, like they shouldn't even be have met yet, and he's the last boss of Remake. I think they got scared of the reaction.
Oh.
So in Rebirth, I feel like they kind of got scared, and Rebirth I feel like is more of a 1-to-1.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna ask if they toned down the changes in Rebirth, because like
I think they really so the Rebirth starts with something different. It picks up like at the end of the remake, the big reveal is Zack is alive when he shouldn't be. Rebirth kind of picks up from that, but from what I can get, and again, this is maybe because of the fact that I didn't get too far into Rebirth. I didn't finish it yet, so I could be completely wrong here. I don't know what happens to Aerith at the end of this game. I didn't like look into it, but the fact is that after the initial like beginning intro thing where it shows Zack being alive, the rest of the game so far has been pretty like it's pretty much what you would expect. There hasn't been any like big changes. Aside from the fact that Aerith admits that after the fight with Sephiroth in Remake, she's now forgotten the knowledge she had. So she doesn't even have that like mysterious seer vibe she had in Remake. Now she's just like normal Aerith.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah,
So,
which is like I feel like is a course correction, and it's a course correction I'm not a fan of because I kind of liked the weird meta stuff.
Yeah.
Because the thing is like with Remake, I felt it at every step of the way. Like it is like if for beat, it is the same. Where it's like you went to the slums, you do this, you go to the plate, etc. It's like beat for beat the same, but every single time, every step of the way, there is a thing that hints at this larger meta narrative. I do not feel that in Rebirth.
Yeah.
Rebirth is like here at the beginning, here's the weird meta narrative stuff. Let's get it out of the way, and then so far it has been like, you know, beat for beat, like what you would expect. So then there's a part of me that's like, did you guys get scared of the meta narrative? Did you get scared of like the reaction to it? Because I'm like, that's kind of a bummer because that was kind of like the unique aspect of it. But then on some level, it's like I understand why they would do that because some people maybe came into Remake wanting to experience Final Fantasy VII in that way. But then if they were gonna do that, it's kind of a weird place to do it because now you have one game where you go like balls deep into it. But then the second game, you're not?
Yeah, I think the Remake name is just the thing that really fucks everything up.
Yeah.
If they did something like really late title card drop of Remake and it's just to like redo.
Like retelling or something.
Or something, yeah, or retelling. Like
redo would be great.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's
like it would have been like that would have been like cinematic masterpiece like level moment. But I do think that the Remake is really kind of fucking with people's perception of this game.
Yes.
So I they've covered it a little bit, right? At the beginning of Rebirth, because like there's that whole scene where they talk about like how Sephiroth goes crazy. And then, like, once that ends, and mild spoilers, but it is early enough in Rebirth, Tifa goes, like, I don't remember Cloud being there.
So that is part of the main game.
Is that part of the main game? Okay.
Yeah, so that is like a thing where that is tied to the fact that Cloud's memories are not Cloud's memories. That's
They're
why
cloudy.
Tifa's like, that's not right. So they're adding supplementary things to the game, wherein the original game is much more like trying to hide the fact that Cloud's memories are wrong. So they didn't do the Tifa thing until like pretty much close to the reveal, where Tifa's like, wait a minute, like that's not right. But in this game, they're kind of like adding that a lot earlier. But that is part of the original Final Fantasy's narrative. The thing that's different is the Zack stuff at the beginning. So when you start Rebirth, you play as Zack, and he's saving Aerith. That stuff's like the meta narrative part.
I'm curious, yeah. Like, I'm curious where they go with this. Last thing I did want to ask you about the plot and Julian is, like, the resident expert of the OG Final Fantasy VII. Throughout, like, Rebirth, Aerith has been talking to somebody, right? And, like, they kind of play it off as, like, oh, it's just Red 13. Is that tied to, like, the original story as well? Or is that more of a, multiverse thing?
I think that one's part of the meta narrative, if I recall.
Okay.
Again, I haven't played Final Fantasy in a while, but I'm pretty sure that is like the whole Whispers thing, I think, or I don't know.
Yeah.
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 Because like it's like a weird, because it's not time travel. It's not them physically traveling through time. The way I understand it is that through the live stream, so the whole live stream thing, through the live stream, they are able to like look into or gain knowledge from past or future versions of themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like them peering into another part of them from a different time. So it's not like them. It's not them physically going back in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is the multiverse
Yeah,
thing.
it's like a multiverse thing, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, like, I'll also end it on a positive note. Like, this game is, in parts, extremely beautiful.
Yes, it is nice.
Yeah, like, I wish they'd done a few things differently with the world, of course. Like, we've talked about that already. But, like, as far as just sort of, like, making something that is stunning, that is beautiful, like, this is all of the above. Like, it really is just, like, one of the prettier, like, games that I've played on the PS5 as well. So, like, in that sense, yeah, they absolutely nailed that as well. I do think the story is also, like, still kind of fun. Like, I'm also kind of enjoying sort of, like, the meta-narrative stuff a little bit. As the last couple of minutes might have revealed, like, I am not quite clear on what is the meta-narrative and what is not, because I thought the Cloud stuff was part of the meta-narrative. But, hey, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know. But, yeah, like, it is fun. Weirdly enough, the last 30 minutes of this episode are actually convincing me to continue playing it just to get to the next story beats. But we shall see. We shall see how far I get with this one. Maybe I will give you guys an update that, hey, I beat this. It's actually really good. I don't know if that's likely.
Yeah,
we'll
so the thing I'm considering now is that, and I think this is recent, they added an update to Rebirth. And I think it's an update that came when they announced Reunion. So I assume it's an accessibility thing of like maybe getting people to push forward with Rebirth so they'll kind of be ready for Reunion. But they added like a new settings menu. And I'm really considering it because the new settings menu are basically like cheats.
Oh, the streamline?
Yeah, streamline
thing?
progression. So Remake had it, but Rebirth didn't, and I think they only recently added it. And I think there's things there you can do where you get infinite like Chadley points or whatever, so you don't have to worry about.
Oh, that's pretty nice.
Like it kind of. I think there's ways there to kind of get past a lot of the, I guess, like the sore points that we're talking about if you do just want to experience the story. So I have honestly, the closer Reunion gets, I think the more I'm like, okay, like maybe I should probably just like turn off my like get good gamer brain and just be like,
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna turn some of these on and kind of just like push through the story
Yeah.
because that's the piece I want.
The anti-grind ones do seem interesting.
Yeah.
Like I was looking at them for Remake.
Mhm.
Like I was like, oh, if I do really need money, maybe I will just turn
Or
on
just
like
turn
the
it on,
infinite
yeah.
money.
Yeah.
Or like, if I want to level up materia, I can just like turn the like faster experience. I did use the the fight with what's his face? Reno and Rude
Yeah.
on like the top of the tower.
Yeah.
My game crashed immediately after that, and I was like, oh, I don't really want to do that fight again. So I just like turned on the max damage one for like that fight when I was like redoing the tower from my
Completely
previous
fair.
save. And
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, I'm actually really, really glad this is here.
Yeah. So
It's
yeah.
It's an interesting like. I do want to kind of like before we go into the Don't Match Me, and apologies to Matt for having to record or like to edit a Lord of the Rings sized episode today, but
Yeah, guys, I got a tornado warning on my phone.
Oh, no.
a tornado warning? What?
I got a tornado warning.
Oh jeez.
Oh, I should not go out then today. Okay,
Yeah.
I was gonna go grocery shopping, but guess that's not
Well.
happening. Well, I hope Matt you're staying safe.
Mhm,
The eco terrorists in our world causing
Uh-huh.
tornadoes. No, I'm joking. I don't know where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
No, I do think it's overall like a really frustrating experience because I think all three of us see hints of brilliance in this game,
Yeah,
right?
I'd
Like,
agree. I think that's the problem. It's like it's
I-
frustrating
yeah.
because I want to engage with the material, but like
yeah,
it's like I have to engage with it in a way that I'm not loving.
that's the thing. Yeah, and I think like if everything were just whatever, I think we would have been like very indifferent to it, and we wouldn't need like 2 hours plus to like vent about this, right? But like, yeah, I do think that like a lot of that frustration does come from a place of actually wanting to enjoy what is like a game that like in the combat elements and stuff plays really really well and like really just like seamlessly, and it's so fluid and it's amazing, and like every character, like even when you switch over to another character to play, has like such a well balanced skill set and well designed skill set, right? And like that might all seem like matter of fact to some folks that have played other modern Final Fantasy games outside of 16. It doesn't to me. So like for me it is still worth kind of pointing that out, that like the combat is phenomenal and like the storytelling is really good. But yeah, man, like it's just there's just far too much bullshit surrounding that stuff. And I think like that ultimately is kind of like the most frustrating element of the Final Fantasy game so far. And hey, maybe they fix it for the third one. I don't know. Maybe having a giant ship flying over the open world that you can skip, that might be the way to go.
Maybe Chadley being Omega Weapon actually will
Yeah.
will justify all this.
He should. They should just give him like an evil mustache to show like I'm evil now.
He's evil now.
That's it. And also give female Chadley a mustache as well. Make them both evil. That would be a good payoff though. But guys, that's Final Fantasy VII. But we can't end this episode without Don't Match Me. And Matt, I believe it's Don't Match Me on you this week.
Yes, it is on me this week. And as always, at the end of these episodes, we do a Don't Match Me challenge where I, the question asker, am going to ask you, the listener, along with my two co-hosts, 5 questions, and I'm going to give 5 answers. The goal for you, the player, is to provide an answer that doesn't match my answer. And if that sounds too easy for you, you can also try to not match Julian and Rakush at the same time. And remember, this is a podcast, so if you need some time to think, just hit that pause button, Google an answer, and then start us back up again, because we're always going to be on the other side of that play button. And of course, you guys, I think it's going to be no surprise to you that I decided to do a Final Fantasy VII Remake Trilogy Don't Match Me challenge.
What?
Nice.
Should
Should have thrown a curveball and done like Final Fantasy VIII or something.
Yeah, it's just...
The
Or...
reason I didn't play Final Fantasy VII Original is because I played Final Fantasy VIII first, and I thought, oh, Final Fantasy VII has, like, dumb graphics.
I mean,
guys...
unfortunately, it doesn't really, it doesn't age well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this guy just has a big sword. The guy in Final Fantasy VIII had a sword gun.
If you're on PC, though, there's a lot of great mods just to, like, tell people out there. If you have a PC that can run, like a decades old game now at this point.
Yeah.
There's some beautiful mods you can have for Final Fantasy 7 to make it look nice.
Interesting. Guys, you know what my last crash out this episode is?
Huh?
I realized we're like one episode away from 6-7, and then we could have done like a Final Fantasy 6-7 joke. But then also you could have done a Don't Match Me Final Fantasy 6-7 edition.
Well, okay. I mean, Rakush, you're gonna be up for the next Don't Match Me. So if you're on episode 6-7, you can do whatever you want with it.
No, my crash out is that I'm not gonna be on episode 6-7.
What episode is this?
This is 66.
Oh, okay. Oh, so 6-7's coming up, and 6-9 is coming up.
Season finale is 6-9. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. We always end on the 69th episode.
Oh, nice.
Guys, we're almost at like 750 hours of just content in general.
That's
In
crazy.
case you were wondering.
That's crazy.
But getting back to the Don't Match Me. Question one. I just want you to name any named NPC in any of the remake trilogy. Name that NPC in 3, 2, 1. Hope I didn't mog you, because I went with Moggy.
Nice. Okay. I'm good.
Rakush, who'd you go with?
I went with Barrett's daughter, Marlene.
Ooh. Good NPC. Yeah. Julian?
I had to go with my man Chadley.
Oh, of course. Okay. Oh, man. Okay. Go down. Okay, question 2. I just want you to name any area of the game. So any like place or map. Like I mean more so on like a map level that you can go to. So name that place in 3, 2, 1. I'm going with the train graveyard.
Dope.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Rakush, where'd you go?
I'll go with Under Junon. I honestly think it's a really nicely designed sort of like cliff town.
Oh, okay. True. Julian, how about you?
I don't know the specific name, but I went with the church, the one where you meet Eris.
Good church. Has a lot of holes.
It does, and flowers.
Yeah.
Okay. Going on to question 3. I want you to just name any green materia.
Oh.
So I'm looking for the materia name and not the spell name. So name that materia in 3, 2, 1. I'm going with that I found surprisingly useful. I'm going with the poison materia.
Oh, nice.
Damn.
Did I get you, Rakush?
Yeah, you got me.
Ooh. We got him in bio.
I thought you wouldn't go with poison materia because of this, right? Where if you just say the word poison to me and you're not familiar with like the materia in this game, you would think purple.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I thought maybe like, oh, he doesn't like, he'll go like something else because that doesn't scream green. But no, I was wrong.
No. Julian, what'd you go with?
I went with the time materia, haste and slow.
Ooh.
Gotta use those.
Okay. So going on to question 4. I want you to name any permanent or temporarily playable character in the FF7 Remake trilogy. All right. So name that character in 3, 2, 1. I know I bashed on him earlier, but I'm going with Barrett.
Nice.
That's a good character.
Rakush, who'd you go with?
I'm going with Best Boy Red 13.
Ooh.
Good pick.
Yeah. Julian, how about you?
I went with Tifa.
Hey. Nice.
Sorry.
Got a party.
Oh, are we Claudie here or are we Clareth? What's the
God.
here? What's the we never talked about this.
Sorry, what was the first combo?
Claudie.
Why is it Claudie?
Cloud Tifa, Claw T, and then Clareth for Cloud Aerith.
Why not just go with Cleafa?
I don't know. that's the fandom. That's what the fandom chose. So.
I mean, I lean Clareth, but now I feel bad now that like Zach's alive.
Honestly, though, yeah.
Is Zach okay? This is like enough of a teaser to end it on. Is Zach actually alive? I don't know.
Zach's alive in an alternate universe, technically.
Yes.
It's not in the universe. So Rebirth shows. So Remake hints that that Zach is alive in the universe you're playing in, but Rebirth immediately goes against it and shows that you're actually viewing a different universe. That Zach is alive.
Okay.
which is weird because then like, okay, well then what's the point of this? And I assume they're gonna connect the universes in some way, but yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I can't wait to have the party where it's just like all different clouds. It's like Adventure cloud, this cloud.
Honestly, that would be good.
Yeah,
That
I
would be
would love to wear the ads and children like clothes for Cloud on it, honestly.
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts Cloud versus just this Sephiroth, Kingdom Hearts Sephiroth, and what other Sephiroths are there? Super Smash Sephiroth.
There's also like the weird Sephiroth kids clones or whatever. I don't know, the ones in Advent Children. I forgot their names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, I forgot to crash out about this part, but the whole beach map is a collection of mini games, and they're not fun.
That's great to hear. After I put it down because of a mini game.
Yeah,
oh, man.
like if you had any thoughts about playing this on easy mode, yeah.
Jesus.
No.
Okay.
I hate that map so much, man. God damn. What's the next question, Ben?
Yeah, going on to the last question. I want you to name any option that shows up on the the initial command menu screen. So when you're like, you're in battle, you hit your command menu button. I don't know what it is by default because I know I changed mine, but I want you to name one of the things that's just like on that initial screen.
Okay.
So not a sub menu, I guess.
Yeah, not a sub menu, just like the like most parent menu.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
Can I pick one that only shows up if you have meter?
Yeah, as long as it only shows up like at the very first screen.
Okay, got it.
So, name that option in 3, 2, 1. I'm going with the one that I wish showed up more often that I talked to you guys about earlier. I'm going with summon.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Phew.
Yeah.
I was close.
Ooh, okay. Rakush, what'd you go with?
I'm going with spells.
Julian, which one did you go with?
I also chose the one that shows up when there's meter, and I chose limit.
Is there? Okay, yeah. I thought you had chosen that one when you were explaining your thing. Is there any other ones that like only show up occasionally other than summon and limit?
In the I think the partner ones in.
Oh yeah, right.
I can't
yeah,
recall
the new
if
one.
there's a specific menu for that or if it's a button press, but
All right. And yeah, that was the Final Fantasy VII Remake Trilogy Don't Match Me Challenge.
Nice.
And that is a large JRPG-sized episode of the Mistake Zone here this week. Actually recorded on a Saturday in the midst of a tornado warning.
That's really weird. Like, this is the first time I've ever gotten a tornado warning.
Yeah, that's like heart of the city kind of area too. So stay safe, everybody. Hopefully Matt is alive at the time of this recording and release more than recording because you are alive.
Well,
right
to
now.
be fair, if I'm not, this won't get released if I don't make it.
That is true. So if you guys don't hear at episode 66, the Crashout was actually more serious than just on Final Fantasy VII. Also, guys, missed an opportunity to talk about the game Crashout. I'm pretty sure there was.
Oh,
one.
did this game crash for you guys at all? Like, it crashed like twice for me. Like I said during like the Reno Rune fight and somewhere else as well. But like, did you guys play on PC or no?
I played on PC.
No, I play on PS5.
It didn't crash. There is weird, like, I don't know if this is my computer or not. I looked it up and apparently some people have the same problem. Rebirth has this weird thing where like the screen sometimes dims and then undims. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Like an HDR like issue or
Oh,
it's
it
just
might
like
be.
the
Yeah.
game just like that. Oh, okay.
It might be an HDR thing. I do have HDR on.
Yeah.
So it might be like auto adjusting when I'm not wanting it to. Yeah.
I see. It was stable on the PS5, Rakush, you said?
Yeah, like I haven't
Okay,
really come across any issues with it.
That makes sense.
But guys, yeah, that is the episode for this week. A very beefy episode. But again, time flies when you're complaining about everything. Julian, thank you for joining us this week.
Yeah,
hopefully it's not your last appearance for the season. We got 3 episodes left to go, so maybe not.
We'll see.
Yeah. Let me know if there's other games you guys want to crash out about, or if the people listening want us to crash out about, because we'll skip those games. I don't want to do this again. I'm dead serious, guys. Matt, thank you for producing and for editing this podcast, because holy shit.
Yeah, hopefully I make it through this one.
Hopefully you do, and hopefully you're alive.
Mm-hmm. Kush, I wanna thank you for being the host for this episode, and as far as I know, being the one that decided to put this episode together.
Oh, of course, yeah. Listen, it wasn't just me that put it together. It was our collective hatred of all the annoyances that put it together. So I think we can all take credit for this. But Matt, before we leave, forgot to do one important thing. Jaren's not here. We need to be talking about poop. How do we not talk about poop when Jaren's not here, right?
So, yeah, sorry. Rakush, I started taking Metamucil. That thing was like crazy.
You're Muse Maxing. Congratulations.
I'm Muse Maxing.
Yes. Great for regular shits.
This tastes better than I remember, to be honest.
It's as we get older.
It's like an orange flavor, isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember it used to not. I had this before. I remember it not being like this good.
The moment you get older, you're like, yeah, give me them vitamins. Give me
give me that thick orange water.
Yeah, that sludge. Give me the orange sludge.
Let me try doing the grossest voice I can do for this. Give me that thick orange sludge. Yeah, okay, that worked. That was orange. Give me that Muse. Yeah, okay, that was a little too bad, man. There, but Matt, take it away.
This has been the Mistake Zone, and we're all out of old men yelling at Cloud.
Nice.
No, we're not. Oh wait, actually, again. Damn, that's a good one. That's a good one. You kind of nailed it there. Right.
I mean, Julian said it before you came on, so I'm just thieving that from him.
That's good. Whoever came up with it, that's good.